oil base, one thing you can do with the oil base, though, that you don't do with the other, is that, well, I guess you can do a water base too, but the oil base, you can take their medium that they have and rub on it and cause it to blend and go out and fade out.
Oh.
So I've taken the oil base and I've done wood, do some wood burning, and I want to color something. You can rub that pencil on there and then use that solvent. It's their medium that they use that they use with oil paints. You can use that medium and then spread it out, and it will blend it in. It just makes a very thin dye type on it.
Oh.
Versus the lines, it gets rid of all the lines and everything.
Yeah.
Which is sort of neat.
I guess it would be.
Which one would you, if to replace the, like on the ornament John just had, the lines there that he painted?
I would probably use the oil base on it. That's the most common one.
The oil base.
But if you're having problems with your design running, when you put the finish on, you can go to a water-based pen. And when you put the lacquer on, it's not going to run because you had a water-based sub-base to it.
Yes, yeah.
My thought,
I'm not using lacquer on any of it.
Yeah,
my thought was,
you see the black lines on there?
Yeah.
Those black lines, they're burned in there with one of those burning wires.
Okay. Are you spraying lacquer on the top though? Finish.
Yes, I'm spraying lacquer. I buy those spray cans of lacquer.
And that's what I was talking about, using lacquer on it, if it causes it to start running too badly on it.
Oh no, spray shellac, I said, is what I use.
Oh, shellac. That's alcohol base.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I don't like I'm kind of allergic to the smell of lacquer. Makes me short of breath.
Well, I spray lacquer all the time, but I spray it outdoors. I don't spray anything indoors.
Oh, okay.
So I spray it. I spray it in up here in my shop. But what I do is I go to my sliding glass door, slide the door open, and I spray. All the spray goes out.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay.
So it's all outside.
I see. Yeah.
my thought was if he was to use the colored pencils, he would still get a shine on the color and not have to use put a finish on them at all.
You still need a finish on those, you need the gloss on them. Everybody wants glossy. All the women want gloss, gloss, gloss.
Yeah, I would prefer, no matter what you were using, to put some kind of something on to get the grain sealed and everything. And
yeah.
But a white water-based marker, color pen, is a really good pen to be using on some stuff. When if you have dark wood and you want to mark it, you can easily mark it with that white water-based pen, and then you just wipe it with water and it comes right off.
oh, okay.
So if you're dealing with walnuts or any of the dark woods, any wood that's dark that you try to mark with a pencil and you can't get anything, well, if you mark it with the white watercolor pencil, you can just wipe it right off.
Mm-hmm. Good ideas.
I've got a chalk pen I use for that.
Use
A what?
chalk.
Oh, a chalk pen?
Yeah.
Donald, is that your lathe in the back of you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Kind is that?
That's here and Ford Hayco.
A what?
Hayco.
Oh, an icon?
No, Hayco. H-A-C-O.
Okay.
Just a little mini lathe.
Right.
Where's it made?
USA.
Now that's ironic. That makes a really good lathes on Australia.
Yeah,
Big
but Mark, I played here.
Yeah.
I like the fact that the buttons are on the right hand side instead of the left.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
I gotta go turn my compressor on.
Oh, Eddie.
Should we let him in?
Nah,
Let him in.
I'm gonna have to set a poll up to see whether we let him in the future.
There you go. Hmm. Looks like I let him in twice.
I probably clicked on it to let him in. A lot of times he comes in with two different devices.
Yeah.
I think he's just trying to increase the number of people online.
Ah, there you go.
I can't even find him on here.
I don't see him on the list. He may not have made it in. Oh, there he is.
That sounds kind of like what I told everybody for my funeral. I wanted everybody to drive separately. That way there'd be a long funeral procession.
Oh.
But now the
Yeah,
way
I
I
see Eddie there.
one.
He's muted.
Well, everybody when they come in muted. So
Yes, right. Oh, he's
So I
unmuted.
can-
He unmuted now.
So I can't talk.
There he is.
Watch out now.
well, we
Hello,
can
gang.
remute you, Eddie.
There he
Hello,
is.
gang.
There's he is in color.
Yeah, and brilliant black and white. Did my
Yeah.
screen freeze?
Got a nice red shirt on there tonight.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yep, your screen is
Yep.
frozen.
You're frozen.
All right, now I have to go back over here and.
Turn the
take a
heat
little
up.
something.
There you
There
go.
we go. Already. Just
Nope.
having a little problem this week with my OBS talking to the rest of everything, but I think I can overcome that. So, everybody turning wood?
Yep.
See Scott Hampton's out there. Wow. Bunch of folks popped in early.
Eddie, did you get somebody else to demonstrate, or am I up for this evening?
We have Bob with the shop tour.
Okay.
That's all I have so far.
Okay.
I thought Dane was doing something this week.
He got sidetracked because of a contractor working on his place. Just
Ah.
finally showed up, I believe it, the term he used.
Great.
He had a couple of explicitives to go along with it, but that's basically what it was.
You shouldn't be talking about me that way. I'm gonna talk to him.
It happens that way. I know the feeling. I'm waiting for people to give me pricing to get my change made here. And it's, yeah, people talk about having a hard time finding work. There's too much work. Not enough people willing to do it. That's personal opinion, pardon me.
I agree.
I agree too. That's completely true.
Yep. I heard somebody at Walmart years ago ask why they don't have more people working out there. And their answer was, nobody could pass the drug test.
Yeah, right.
Well, that's
Yep.
one of them. I worked for a contractor that did the test on occasion, and which I was very happy for. And we lost a couple of folks one time, and one of the other superintendents said he was a good guy, man. He was a hard worker. Yeah, he failed the test in 4 different ways. I don't care how good you are, you're not that good. Cannot, my personal, I cannot reward that kind of action. I really can't. And paying them is rewarding them.
Eddie, I
Yes.
was commander of a unit, and we had a new kid come in. We was fixing to send him down to a drug test, and he obviously took drugs right before he took the test because he was so stressed out about it.
You got to relax, man. You can't go in nervous.
Yeah, he popped so high. It was, he obviously had hit it, no more than 30 minutes before that he got tested.
Yeah, I had one contractor I worked for that his insurance company insists that they do a random drug test of all the employees. He wanted to pick the ones to get tested, so his insurance rate wouldn't go up.
Mhm.
He wasn't worried about the drug test. He was worried about the insurance rate. but you know, sometimes it's all about the buck and nothing else. So
Most of the time it is.
it's a darn shame.
Yep.
A lot of those drugs stay in your system for 30 days.
Yeah, they have a place near us in New Orleans that sells the stuff to help clear up your blood before you get a blood test. Yeah, it's an on their advertisement. It's in the ads they put in the newspaper and stuff.
Oh my.
You know, I guess it's all fair in love and war, but this is war.
Okay, now who let Ronnie in? That's, you know,
I don't know. We had the protection on, didn't we?
I thought so. I don't know who let Ronnie in here.
I get that email.
And you know, I
Wasn't
actually,
me. I don't have the power yet.
what Doug, okay, what Doug? Doug will give the authority any moment now.
Good
All right.
evening,
Well, I won't
everyone.
let him in then.
There he is, folks. His mic is on now. Oh, for
Good.
y'all, for those of y'all just popping in this evening, if you'd like to chat, you have to unmute yourself when it's open, and it's open. So do that. Change in policy to help assist with the production of this program. Should have a little logo and all pop up, right? Do we all remember that? See the little logo with the, you know, been approved by the standards? We can't meet any standards. What's the deal? So a lot of good turning I've seen this week. Boy, I tell you what, I'm getting some fantastic art for the challenge. Fantastic. And also with, you know, for people sending me into the newsletter and for the promotions and all that, just some beautiful work. And this week, I think we only had 9 new ones in the last week, but they're truly a work of art. And as we spoke about when we developed this program recently, is we would have a seasoned turner and a novice turner. And we had a little problem with trying to get the wording right. I want to say rookie, I want to say newbie. You know, I just think you're seasoned or you're not seasoned. And we asked folks to tell us that when they send the photos in. Well, apparently, you folks are proud enough to say, I can run with the big dogs, because everybody's coming in as a seasoned turner, which I love. I love. I don't want to delineate between this guy and this guy, and I don't want to pick the season from unseasoned. That's for darn sure. If you think you want an even fairer shot at this gallery, you have to put unseasoned in your submission to me. You have to put that in there, unseasoned. Oh, you know the other important part is make sure your name appears on it. I don't think we can give the award to QXRT at 1099 dot, you know, no, kind of have a name. And that's my common thing. I have to send it back out. Whose work is this? I just got one from David Rose a few minutes ago. He sent me some photographs. One guy, I have no idea who it is, none.
Hey.
And another guy submitted work with somebody else's name on it. Hey, Brenda,
Hey, who's doing the gallery tonight?
who's what?
Doing the tonight?
You cut out again. I didn't hear it.
Gallery.
That's Dane. He'll be in.
Oh, is he gonna be in?
He said he'll be here. He may have a painter's cap on and some blue tape on his fingers and stuff like that, but he
All
said
right,
he'll be in, but he's not in. One of the other co-hosts will pop in. Are you volunteering?
Well, I thought maybe Doug Miller was. I just seen there was somebody on there, that's got a piece already, so.
Well, I nominate Doug Miller, yeah, I nominate Doug Miller too. Doug
All right,
does
I'll
a
get
lot,
my paper and pen handy.
yeah.
Yeah.
Doug, like the other co-host on this meeting, do a lot for this club. They really do. And that's because we pay so well. We really, I mean, we have not been late on one payment for employees yet. Not one single time.
No bounce.
How about their benefits?
Oh, we doubled them.
You double bennies? Okay, then.
Yeah, I mean, we're better than Amazon and Walmart right now for benefits.
That's great.
We can get you a discount card and everything, Andy.
All right.
Yeah. Andy's got some work in the gallery today. Andy's got some work up there today. Let me see something. Yeah, Andy's got some work in the gallery tonight, so watch for it, watch for it. And remember, we're gonna show you the photos 3 times. All right, show them to you with no comments, explain what's going on, show them again, and let it run one more time. Whole thing takes about 2.5, 3 minutes. They're all over, and then the ballot will be up. When you see it the 3rd time, the ballot will be there on the screen at that time, and then you can pick what you want. And we simplified the ballot process, and you don't have to push a thumbprint on it anymore. We're trying to simplify this thing, but you have to understand 90% of what we do is on free programs and free software. We pay for airtime, or our benefactor pays for airtime, but most of everything else is coming from programs that we have adopted off the websites. I mean, I get my OBS, NDI, and all that off the website. And I've had a computer glitch recently, and I think I was trying to do too much at one time with too much stuff connected, and I'm just going to back it down and find out, where the gink clink is. I got emailed today and I couldn't read it or respond to it. It took me about 20 minutes to find out what got turned off accidentally. So we're going to take all this, the whole thing back to Roger at iPad store and see what he can do for me. All right, we're going to do the photos to the challenge tonight in a little while. We're at 7 o'clock. We're going to start that, and this is for the Turning of the Week program, and that is a Turning of the Week open to everybody, and we also want your input for Member of the Month. That's important to us, and we're going to recognize the members who made the greatest contribution to your wood turning in the month of October. Keep it in mind, the members that who made the greatest contribution in your wood turning for this month. We recognize all of them. There's no first place and second place is the loser. They're all winners. They're all equal. In fact, we'll put their names up alphabetically if that'll help you out a little bit, which means Ron Zeno ain't got a chance to make the top of the list. All right, this is Worldwide Woodturners, and we use that term. We created that term 2 years ago when we formed this organization, or lack thereof. And folks, why would you say Worldwide Woodturners? Okay, let me throw this at you and let's see how it works. We see a video produced by a fella in Russia, and he's using a knife that has been copied by a guy someplace in the UK. And then there's a guy in Peru who does such awesome work with it, you think he sanded it to death. And then there's a guy in Australia that showed you how to make the handle. Then we have another guy in the United Kingdom selling the identical tool, not a knockoff, the identical tool to a guy who lives in Mississippi. Now, did you put all this together to see where the worldwide thing came from? It's not like we're out on the tailgate of the truck. That ain't happening. We're on the tailgate. Fella in Russia, I can't do his name because y'all do know I got a problem with names. He showed this tool. Ronnie Bonnet. Now, Ronnie's a pretty good wood turner. Ronnie Bonnet saw the video. He contacted somebody who said they were selling the tool. He bought the tool, came in, I used it, Ronnie used it. It's pretty nice. Then we got to talking to other folks. We've seen some other videos on this program, not of that being used in our meeting, but how it worked. And we've talked about this at length a couple of times. Well, this week, I understand Trace ordered a tool from the UK made exactly like the one from Russia and is going to handle it up just like the guy in Australia says to handle it up to go to work. Is that right, Trace?
Partially right. I already got a handle on it.
Oh, okay. All right. So he jumped ahead of me a little bit. But that's how it went from shore to shore, ocean to ocean, continent to continent. And that's why you're here, folks. you're here to be part of that mix. And that's what we love. You come up with something, share it with us. You have an idea, share it with us. You do something in your shop, share it with us. In fact, later on this evening, in just a little while, we're going to walk through somebody's shop. Now, we've seen his work. He does pretty nice work. Really does fantastic work. But, and he's not in the gallery tonight. This is something. No, he's not in the gallery tonight. So it's fair to say he does really great work. But he's going to take us through his shop, show us how he's got his shop laid out and what he does things and all with. And that would be, to me, an interesting tour, because then I can look, and I'm building a new shop. I can look and say, oh, yeah, why would I put that there? I can move it over here. And I'm doing that right now. I drew it out on a nice piece of paper, as to what the entryway look like and all this stuff. And I got the floor plan worked out a couple of times, but it's on paper. So now I got
approval.
Management's approval.
Man, got to get management's approval.
What makes you think I have to have management approve anything?
She's standing right behind you.
The
Right
shadow.
She's right there. I don't know what makes you think of. She does. And that's just
You
bottom
started
line.
talking
She
about
does.
spending money, and she showed up.
She,
Eddie, I know you never turn around so we don't see the knots in the back of your head.
He's not wrong.
she's standing here and she's going, bye.
I haven't had,
Bye.
had
You're
one
out of here.
lately.
You want me to ask it? Do I need your permission to spend money? Thank you, honey. You see?
No, you can buy her something anytime you want to.
Yeah, it's talked me out of rebuilding my shop where it was at, which is good. Very good. It's going to make for an interesting time and project. Is everybody still back there? Somebody say something.
Hello?
Okay, now
Hello,
I lost
hi,
my
Mr.
ears.
Brown.
Hello?
Max with us.
Mr. Brown.
Good evening.
All right, I'm going to try a little something new. We're talking about rebuilding the shop. For health concerns, a lot of days when we go out there and work, she has to bring hand sewing or something and come join me. It's a safety thing. Then we were talking about it last week, and she said, we have a lot of house. And she vacuums it, so she knows. A lot of house. And why don't we just bring the shop into the house? Now, I've been wanting to do that for years, but I'm a little smarter than this. We sat down and talked about it. I'm having a contractor come out and put a stabilized room to the floor, because I'm in a raised house, put a stabilized room to the floor, and I engineered that out to displace vibrations, not to wait, the vibrations from the lathe. I'm putting a little partial deck on the back right outside the windows of my studio, and putting a door to go out, stairs and all that. So what I'm going to do by this is restrict my up and down movement to get out to the shop. I can have the door open so she knows what's going on until the dust gets in. Bathroom will be up here.
Ready?
Everything else will be up here. And we'll be.
What? Are you ready?
Okay.
No,
We got to go back to that mute thing.
I'm trying to figure out what they're talking about.
Yeah.
Oh,
But that's where, it's
I think your biggest problem, Eddie, would probably be keeping the dust out of the house. You're going to have to get on a separate heat and air conditioning system probably to keep that dust out,
well, I've got that worked out. I'm going to be on a separate heat and air.
That's great.
And the door behind me, we took it down for convenience for me, but we're putting that door back in. And then I'm probably going to either put a screen door on it or gasket the door out, so when it's closed, back and forth to go away a little bit. But I don't turn anything heavy right now, so I'm not terribly worried about the lathe jumping through the floor. And that will give me more of an opportunity to be in the shop. It wasn't weather, it was me that kept me out of there. But hey, we're moving. And I got to say, thank you. I'm getting a lot of support from you folks, a lot of support, and I really appreciate it. This is as y'all would know, it's a tough nut to crack because I got my FEMA assistance today to patch 2 shingles on my roof. When we asked about the shop, oh, we only cover living quarters. I would have put my bed in that place. I really would have. A lot of folks popping in. I see we got some old members, some new members. Ronnie Bunnett's there. He's my co-host or co-conspirator. Is that right, Ronnie? You're an unindicted co-conspirator?
Yeah, if that gives me a raise, yeah.
Oh, we can do that, man. We can give you a raise. In fact, we can double it. Let me just...
Triple it.
Whoa, hold on, Brenda. Don't go throwing the money around.
Yeah. Any more daddy?
Ooh,
Is Miss Susan in tonight?
I think I saw Sue check in.
I was wondering how that finger was doing that she hurt a couple of weeks ago.
Oh, no, I thought I saw Sue in. I don't see her now. Rusty's is here. Ron from Washington's here. Ricky Tucker, Rick Barnes. Bob is going to give us a tour of his workshop. Mike McMahon's here. Matt Harbor's in here. Martin Clarkson's got to escape from the UK. Joe Klein, Jim Selby, Jeff Schnell. Oh, we got a good crowd coming in tonight. A lot of old friends and new ones too. If you're a brand new member, say hi. And tell me what, 67 folks coming in tonight. And
Ronnie, you still need pens?
I sure do.
Okay.
Who's that?
Gary Bobenhausen.
Oh, okay. I was going to bring you up in a few minutes. Thank you, Gary, for those pins I got this week.
Yep. I got another bunch ready to send out tomorrow.
Oh, they beautiful pins that you've been sending me.
Hey, pens.
Thank you very much.
Yes, sir.
They're not just ink pens, they're thank yous to our troops.
That's true.
That's really what they are. They're thank yous to our troops. And we all have to consider that. We're doing this freedom. And I had someone the other day said, why aren't we in the original freedom pen? We are.
Hey, Gary,
Yes, sir.
do you have any business cards?
No, I really don't.
Do you have anything with your name on it?
His underwear.
My driver's license.
I don't think you should mail that.
No, I really don't think so either. I'll get something made up and sent to you.
I was going to tell you, yeah. Send me about 30 of them when you send it because you sent me some pins before, and I want to put your names in there.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I can do that.
And that goes for anybody that sends me any pins. Put your business card in and anything else. And what I'm doing, I'm taking the pins and I'm putting them in a little potato sack. It looks like it's 3 by 5. And we putting your pins in there, and then we're giving it to the troops. I'm getting a copy of the little sack right now as we speak. The boss is going to grab one.
So we know who runs the place. Now we know who runs the place. All right, that and really everybody, and you will get a thank you from the troops. You'll get a note or whatever. You got my things right now. There we are. Okay.
And it's got a pull string on each side, and we'll put your pin in that, and put your business card in there, so they'll know who's giving them a pin.
I haven't received any pins yet. This is Jim Selby.
This idea for these little sacks came from Joe Klein. Joe Klein sent me some pins, and this is how he gave them to me. So it was a good idea, so I got it on Amazon and ordered these. So we're gonna give them out in that. So
Jim, boy, I can talk. Is your address on the website?
It sure
Yes,
is.
sir. Yes,
Okay.
yes, sir. Mine is. the Navy's result for Chief Petty Officer just came out. And the guys are making guys and gals are making what they call vessels to keep their charge book in. And I'm trying to give give a pen to everybody that's doing it. And I'm running behind. I've passed out about 10 of them so far, but I work and try to make pens at the same time, and it's got me behind the power curve.
Well, let's see if we can help out the Navy there. Ronnie's handling the Marines, Jim's handling the Navy. Doug Rowe
Rowe.
handles the Army. And we have a lot of folks handling that. Dane is handling the Air Force. That's what it is. I knew there's one more. But we're covering it all.
Space Force.
Yeah,
Say,
Space
who's that?
Force.
Space Force.
Who's doing
Who's
Space
doing the
Force?
space? Who's doing the Space Force?
I think we forgot about them.
There are a lot of inappropriate jokes that can be made right now.
No.
Yeah, I know. Y'all have to hold back, right?
Well,
I
who's
think
in
the Air
Colorado
Force is
Springs?
taking
Because the
care.
Space Force headquarters is in Colorado Springs.
Yes.
I'm in the Springs, but I don't know anybody with Space Force.
If you know
There
anybody
is
with
someone that's
York, you
committed
can
to
hook
do it,
up.
but I haven't got his address yet. So his
I
name
work
is on the
Air Force
website,
Academy.
but I can't find his address.
You can know someone on the academy?
Well, Dave Rhodes handles our website. He's our website master. And if you want to handle a portion of this Freedom Pens program, there are 5 or 6 services which serve our country. We'll hit them all. We really are. All you have to do is tell Dave, write to the website, right? There's a little contact thing. Tell Dave, I want to handle Freedom Pens for in your name, shipping address, etc., and put your phone number in there. We're all in this battle together, really. And we're never out to make a buck. We will not distribute them if they have a commercial in them. That's it. Don't go commercial on us. It's not about the commercial. It's about these folks. So, but this is a great program. I mean, we've done great over the last year too. Look at that. Ronnie's wife just came in waving old glory over there.
Hey, Eddie,
Yes, ma'am.
let's check on Susan now. I see Susan's in.
Susan popped in. Susan, Ronnie's looking for
Howdy.
you.
I'm doing good. I'm in my little shop for my turning right now. That's why I'm in a different room, but I've been doing
Oh, nice.
screens. I've been doing these glue ups. They've been a real interesting glue up, I'll tell you. And but yeah, you should get 10 of them by the end of the month, Ronnie.
Good. Thank you. How's that finger?
Hey, I want to thank you for letting me order that stuff, telling me about it. See, it's looking good.
Good.
See, it's just a little swollen. I'm good. But here's
Good.
the pens as soon as I get them drilled down, and that's marine dress blues.
Very
they'll-
nice.
They'll have stars and stripes, hopefully on the top part. So,
Oh, that'd be nice.
That's
so
gonna be fancy there.
it'll be fancy, Ronnie. Some of them will just have stars on top, but we'll trying to get as many done as I can for you.
Thank
got
you.
my-
Thank you.
Done.
And
That's why
remember,
I'm out here.
remember the rule, no bleeding on company time. That's the rule.
Well, I'm not going to do anything tonight,
All right. Okay. All right.
If
Oh, but-
anyone sees Stephen Maycal pop in, he's out of Colorado Springs, and he volunteered to do it, but he never gave us a phone number or address or anything to connect with. I've been waiting for him to show up at a meeting lately. If you notice him pop in, let me know. I'll try to catch him.
I don't see him on the roster tonight.
I don't
And-
see him tonight or last week or the week before.
And
But he
folks,
did
if-
pop in 4 weeks ago and say he wanted to do it.
Yeah. And folks, if you can see the name that comes up on the screen below. who's talking, little name in the corner, all that. If you would change your name, if you're using an outside device or your iPhone or whatever, you could put your real name in there or a name we can call you by. Makes it real easy to look and contact folks.
Oh, you said change our
Hey,
name.
Eddie.
So
Hey,
we
Eddie.
got Donald Duck and Mickey Mouse and everybody else in here now?
Longest, well, you have no idea what kind of restraint it's taken, Ronnie. You have no idea what kind of restraint it's taken.
Hey, Eddie.
Oh, man, wait a minute. I
You
gotta
said
kind of
change our
recover.
you said change our name, so.
Well, we get to change our name.
Hey, Eddie.
Yes, sir.
I would like to say something about the testimonial for the giving out the pins. Couple
Yes,
years
sir.
ago, I had sent in some pins to you, and I got a couple of responses from them through email. And then about a year ago, I sent out another one. I got a couple of responses. It's really heartwarming to get somebody to recognize what you've done for the freedom pins.
It really is. I mean, it's a choker when you get the note back from these folks. And I don't want to say, especially when they're on the battle lines, they're all on the battle lines.
Yeah.
But when you hear back from those troops who protect our freedom, when they tell you thank you for helping them, it's a warm feeling inside. It
Yes,
really
it is. Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dave. All right.
We need to add the Border Patrol to this list.
Well, it can be open to anybody. You have somebody in the Border Patrol that'll handle it?
I have no idea, but they're the ones on the front line today.
Yeah, that's right. I think we have a member, Ronnie. He's out of he's up in upper north of the lake in here, Louisiana. I can't remember his name right now. Boy, that's a terrible shame. I went to AAW with him one time, but he was with ICE, and he knows what those folks go through. And I remember telling me one day he was on a stakeout in New Orleans, and he had his car improperly parked. And a parking lady came up and said, "I'll give you a ticket." And he says, "Lady, I'm undercover." And she says, "That's not real police." He said, right then and there, he's about to prove to her what real police will do for you. But I like adding that to him, if you could. They defend our country in a unique way. They do. Hey, we were, David Rhodes is with us, right, David? Talk again, David.
Yeah.
Not David.
I'm here.
Yeah, there you are. Dave, we've been having this little email conversation with members and our advisory team. Remember, we don't have a board. We have a board of directors. We don't have any officers. We just have groups of members that want to get together to help us. And we've been chatting lately about contacts. Here's the deal, folks. If Brenda Thornton out of Ohio does a demonstration for us, and we're waiting for that, Brenda, does a demonstration for us, and you have a question about what Brenda just turned, or technique, or product, or, and it's not to build sales, it's to help wood turners. How do you get a hold of Brenda Thompson? David, do you know? Because this week I heard from Brenda, wanting to know how to get a hold of Ronnie.
No, I don't have a suggestion at the moment. Actually, I think that's what our mail has been all about. There are 3 or 4 ways we can do it. And I'm willing to do it any way we want on the website. I just want to, however we do it, to be relatively cautious so that we don't end up with anybody getting a massive amount of spam. I know that happens sometimes when emails addresses end up on the internet. And I think we've suggested several ways to do it. If you want, I can mention some of them and see if anybody wants to recommend.
Well, it's their club. Let's do it. Throw them out there.
One of the ways we can put it right on the website. Unfortunately, if it's terribly visible, we've got bots, which are programs that strip the website of email addresses, and then spam you the way you get your telephone spammed by the hundreds of people that want to let you know that you get something. We're not having that problem too much, but we do have a lot of hackers that are trying to get into the website. So eventually, those things that are sitting right on the website are probably going to cause spam to people with it right on. Other ways we can set up not email forms that let you contact people, and that works. It's doable. We can put a list in a PDF format, and you can download the PDF formatted file that has email addresses for people.
But they're not active, what we call an active email address. You can't go to the PDF, press the button and go to the mail.
Right. It would be something where it'd just be a list of people, and it would say, you know, you can, you want to talk to somebody that's been a not a distributor, a demonstrator, or wants to help, download this file. It'll have 10, 15, whatever it is, 100 addresses, whoever wants to be on that list. And another method is we can have links to people's Etsy or YouTube or whatever channels. And we do that right now. It's we have a members web page that says you can go here to find people. But if we have the download or we have the link to another website, we have the situation that, well, it's kind of inconvenient because you have to put in that extra step of going to another website to find somebody else's email address or having to download. My personal preference is a PDF. We're already putting PDFs out there with people's email because we put the chat out there, and it's not convenient for a spammer to try to find PDFs and then search lists. So they probably won't do that. The question is, it too inconvenient for you? Do you want to go that way? Does anybody have a suggestion how you want?
I have input on this if you'd like.
Okay, go for
There
it.
he is. There's Matt. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, my input is this. I am also a web person, a computer person and web person. I like the idea of a form on the website. I think it adds another layer of distance between spam bots and spiders and the end user. However, we'd have to add a CAPTCHA or something like that. You know what that is, right, Dave? Okay.
Right.
That is susceptible to abuse. Some of the websites I run do that, and it can be susceptible to abuse also. But it's at least one more layer that prevents that. What I do when I do a demo, I usually have a document with it, and that document, you know, is text and so on, and that includes my email address and my phone number and my Facebook, and people are welcome to contact me on any of those. And some people have with questions. So that's my suggestion, is that if you're doing a demonstration, you either put it, a document up in your demonstration, or you put it in chat or something like that. It can still be got from the video. If somebody says, oh, I missed the meeting, or I missed the video, or I want to go have a question 2 days later, how do I get a hold of this person? Then they can go up to our YouTube channel and it's still in the video somewhere. So, and it'll be in the chat log on the website if somebody really wants to. And I would not worry about the inconvenience, frankly. If somebody has a question that they really need answer that's burning, they'll go and find the contact information. So, even if it's 4 or 5 layers deep, even if they've got to go to the YouTube channel and scan through the video looking for it, you know what I mean? Or go to the website and get it off of the chat log. If they really have a question, they really want to contact a person, they'll find it, they'll do it. So that's my input.
Comments?
The only comments I have are, maybe someone has an interest in contacting you, but they're not sure which video you might have put your contact in, and they'd really like a central location. That's why the PDF was going to be there. It was kind of the equivalent concept it wouldn't be a big problem. Again, setting up forms for each and every demoer, that's not a problem. And then they can either contact you directly by a contact form, or they can send you email saying, can I have your email address, and you can mail it back to them. But
Yep,
I think the key here is we kind of wanted to make it so that, yeah, we can have it on each demo, but maybe it'd be nice to have some sort of centralized method of contacting people, not having to go all over the world.
Well, a PDF is still downloadable and scannable if it's publicly accessible.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
I would, my vote would be for a forum on the website with a list of possible people they could contact, and hide obscure all of that, the email address and that kind of stuff. You know, I mean, once you establish a two-way conversation, then you have a two-way conversation going on, and you know, everybody knows you know each other's email addresses. But that initial contact should come through a capture protected form, in my opinion.
Okay.
How about if we register on the website and have to respond to a verification email so that you know it is us, and then we can access a list of people's contact information.
You lost me on that one. Throw it one more time.
I was thinking each of us register on the website where you put in your email address and your name, whatever. And then you get a verification email that you have to respond to verify that you didn't make up some email address. And then once you're verified, then you can access a list of people's contact information. Did that make any sense?
Hey, Eddie. Dave, this almost sounds like it's getting back to what we had discussed. Basically, when somebody wants somebody's address, they send an email to the World Wide Web, and either you or somebody else that volunteers for it maintains that contact and then sends them the information. That puts a body in the link, which breaks the electronic things.
I was talking about automating it more or less. I mean, you register, and then you get a verification email that you have to respond to that proves that's your email address. And then once you are verified, then you can access the list of Matt and everybody else and their contact information.
Well, we can do that. What do you think, Matt? Is that a valid way of doing it? I can certainly set it up to do it.
Yeah, that's kind of putting it behind a password protection scheme, and that works too. My own club does that exactly. You know, you have to, once you're a member, you get an email that tells you what the password is, which is sort of the same thing. I mean, you don't have to go through the email verification process, but yep, that'll work. I mean, as long as there's a protection from the automated bots, and somebody could still register, I guess, with a fake email address.
True.
But it's harder. I mean, one of my sites gets 5 hits from fake email addresses registering to talk on a forum a day. So right. That's, unless it's totally automated, if somebody's overseeing it and says, oh, that looks like a fake email address, you know what I mean, you're still going to run into issues with it. But I mean, I guess any of the schemes can have issues. So
you can always go old school and just mail out a list, You can always do that.
But you need addresses then.
Are you talking about stamps and paper and all that?
Hey, that's what I'm talking about. You could always do that,
I haven't used a stamp in 5 years, you guys.
I know.
Eddie, Ronnie, I'm as computer illiterate as you two guys. So I'm hoping that you're going to send me an email telling me what them guys are talking about. What have they just been discussing?
I think what's being said in the most recent comment was, what I can do is I can set it up so that if you send an email to me, I look at the email address that you send it from, and I send an email back to you saying, are you really the person you claim to be? And then if you respond again, then I send you the email address list. Is that basically what we're talking about?
I think that's a great idea, Dave. You could even do a date line. Do yourself a date line so that the women can get in touch with you and apply for the men. I think you've done yourself a great job there.
I like that one.
You've
Don't
done
tell my
yourself a
wife,
great job
but
there.
I like
We'll,
that one.
we'll all email Dave, and then Dave can come back and ask us what we want.
I just don't want it to end up like my phone. I'm getting 50 spam calls a day, to the point where I've had to turn my phone off to everybody except those in my list.
Exactly. That's why I'm mentioning this, because so far, personally, I'm not having problems with things being spammed to me as the webmaster. But that doesn't mean anything. I've had websites for as much as 15, 20 years, and I eventually start getting spam from those. So I know that this will eventually cause spam if we don't think of it and try to prevent it a little bit. And so I want to bring this out.
I've been getting spam calls and I've been trying to sell them both. I figure if they're gonna call to sell me something, I'm gonna sell them with both, starting at $80.
Well,
the more email addresses you get on there, Dave, the more the bots are going to look at it. I mean, for me, the likes of the AWGB, if I go onto the AWGB site now, I could pick any wood turner on there and send them an email. No problem at all. There is about 300 names on there. They're all available. You can just get in touch with them. But I can see what your concerns are, and I can see what other people's concerns are, putting the name out there. But you know, if it can be behind some type of password or passcode to stop the bots getting anywhere near it, then it's probably a good idea.
Well, let me back up to the basics we started talking about right off the bat. Our first conversation was tonight. What if the information we obtain from a demonstrator or a member or whatever goes into what is called a PDF? And that PDF is available. So if I go to Worldwide Wood Turners and I go to demonstrators and I see this PDF button, and he'll have a button, it'll be red if you want, a PDF button, and say, I want to see who they are, you will get a document without live addresses. I'm saying without live addresses. They won't be blue or red or anything for you to click on and go right to them. You will have to take and copy that line and paste it into the email you want to send. But a bot can't do that, right, Dave? Right, Matt?
Well,
A
that's
bot can do
kind of
that.
true, but they can do that if they really want to. And besides, you can always have somebody that has the bot downloading the PDFs and somebody looking at the PDF.
Just look for the people.
One of the options that was suggested is that I say, okay, you've sent me an email requesting it. Now I'm going to send the email back to you. If you're in our list of members.
You see, there you go. We don't have that.
That's right. We don't have that.
Yeah.
Dave, what I was
Just
talking
look
about
for
was
the person on
pornography.
Facebook. That's what I do. I just look for the person on Facebook and message them.
Well, you know what? If we had a page, and I'm talking to the guy that can do it. If we had a page on our website, I think we have that, for where you can list your YouTube channels, et cetera, we can also put your Facebook address in there. So you might be Brenda.
You don't need a Facebook address. If I want to find you, I just type in Eddie Castlin, you come up.
Well, that's because I'm Eddie Castlin.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter if you're my friend or not.
Oh, I'm
Yeah,
not your
go
friend.
ahead and
I can
find
still
me.
message
Some
you.
of us aren't that famous.
Yeah, some people are not on Facebook or Instagram.
Yeah.
Like me.
I'm not that famous.
I don't know many people that aren't.
Hey, Eddie.
Go ahead, please.
Yes, I'd like to say something here. You know, you have this chat thing. And couldn't you have the people that are wanting to talk to somebody else say, could you send me your email so that you can go through chat? That way it would be a protection.
Well, that's what we're actually doing right now in a way.
Yeah, but I mean, what I'm trying to say, use chat more often. Like if somebody wants to get a hold of them, just say, I'd like to get a hold of so-and-so, but I don't know his email. that guy they're trying to get a hold of, maybe they could enter their email in there and say, here it is.
The
Yeah, we
chats
have,
are
that's a
too
great
easy
idea. And we have,
accessible. They're on the website.
yeah, we have no problem with that. We never have had a problem with that. Like Ronnie is collecting pens to go to his grandson's boot camp graduation. And he's looking to collect these pens. He put his name, address, and phone number in our chat to help folks find him, to send him the pens. Jim Selby did the same thing when Jim started collecting for the Navy. Doug Rowe does the same thing every time he's in here to collect pens for the Army. And we've got others and others and others. And that goes into the chat. And folks, if you're involved in something and you want to post that information every single meeting, I'm okay with it. It's just in chat. It's lines of text. But before you leave tonight, go in the lower corner of the chat block, click the 3 little buttons and save the chat. Guess who doesn't do that often enough? I've got a note taped on the screen of my computer up here that said save chat. And that's where I got to click the thing to leave the meeting. Yeah, it goes to basics sometimes, but that's what we're going to save. Same thing as if you use a tool and you want somebody to know where that tool came from. That happens all the time. Go ahead.
If we have one central person who always saves the chat, and if you forgot to, you could email them and say, hey, I forgot to get a copy of the chat on Wednesday night. That solves that problem of forgetting to save the chat, because I forget every time.
I nominate Dave. I nominate Dave. I nominate Dave.
No,
Already done on the website.
the chats are on the website. The chats are on the
They are on the
website.
website right now.
Boy, you're good, Martin. Look at that denominator and we took it right away. We do that now, Joaquin, and so the chat is available there. Now, it takes our webmaster about a week to get everything together and have his life also. And then he puts it up on our website. Sometimes it's the next day. But this morning I saw videos of 4 or 5 different pieces for our program or our meeting in the last couple of weeks. And I sat back and watched them again. And sometimes you'll need to do that. You'll see Martin doing a demonstration or Scott doing a demonstration like he did last week. And you want to say, I'd like to see that again. That's why we have the webmaster. That's why we have the website. And that's why we're free. That's it. So we'll do that to push it. And we'll consider this thing about the names. And we'll tell you what the outcome is. And then you get, again, yay and nay. And we listen to all your input. Remember, no board of directors, no hierarchy. We're just a bunch of wood burgers. Yeah, hey.
Hey, Eddie, it's Sue.
Yes,
Listen,
ma'am.
those of us that use iPad, we don't have a way of saving the chat. iPad doesn't allow you. So, I mean, the chat is available on our web, right?
Yes, it is.
So, that's one way of just downloading it off our web. Although you don't get the private chats on that. It's all the ones that were sent to everybody, I believe.
Only everybody.
Yeah.
Unless you send it, you don't see it.
Exactly.
So, okay. Well, it is on our website. It's there right now. And that's been a help since day one is our website. And remember, we're all volunteers. Webmaster doesn't get paid to do it, and it's a full-time operation some days. So if we can help them in any way, that'd be a bonus. And that's what we ask all you folks. That's why this whole thing's a conversation tonight. We need to get more input. When we started looking for different things throughout the years, you've come to our rescue. Oh, your rescue. And that's it. Worldwide Woodturners. That's why we're here. Go ahead.
Eddie, let me make a recommendation to get started. Why don't we, for right now, while we're trying to get started, everybody that's been doing demos to share that information, send them to Dave Road, and at least get started and let him get a list going, and then we can figure out how we're going to get them out there. But at least get started and let Dave start collecting a list of people.
Yeah, you can't publish a newspaper if you don't have the news.
Yeah, so maybe we want to just go ahead and start sending that contact information to Dave, and then we can go from there as we migrate to see what's the best way to put it out there.
Okay, and the best way to submit it, Dave, would be through the club website, not through chat, correct?
Right, you might as well just send it to the webmaster at the website.
Yeah, there's a contact on the website to do that.
At worldwidewoodturners.net, pardon me, .org.
Yeah.
That'll at least get us started.
There we go.
Okay. And if all you members see something about why don't we change to worldwidewoodturners.com, it's because a secondhand dealer wants to resell a name that we had rights to at one time. We're sticking with where we are, worldwidewoodturners.org. No problem. I mean, that's the one we can manage. That's the one we can manage. We got for our demonstration this evening, we're going to have a walkthrough of Bob Grinstead's shop a little bit later on. In a few minutes, I'll be showing you the gallery for this month, or this week, pardon me. And it's the turning of the week. And this is when you get the vote on what turning of the week you like. You don't get to pick a name because there's no names, unless TWO is one of our turners' acronyms. No, this is where you pick the art. The art you pick is the one you vote on, and that's the one that will get the vote, and Trace will compile the votes. You'll see them on the screen, and then we'll announce what the turning of the week is. And Trace doesn't know what's on it. There's the list. See them? Yeah, read that. Read that. Okay, that's the names of the folks that on the turning of the week. You enter by emailing your photograph to worldwidewoodturners@gmail.com. Only one rule in this thing. That's where you have to send us a photograph. I would rather not capture them off of Facebook. I'd rather not capture them off of emails to the club site, not to our Gmail address. I would rather you send us the photographs to our email address. And the thing that came up about capturing them off of Facebook is I had somebody send me a contact today, and their name is above a photograph of the work. So it looks like this guy produced this work. But when I zoomed in on the work, there was a guy's handwritten signature. The guy that turned it, his work, his little artwork for his name is on the piece. So wait, I got this from this, and this is this guy. You know, I got too many brother-in-laws involved in this. So I'd like you to email me the photograph. That way, you know, I eliminated a couple of the in-laws. That's all. Remind you, and if you're in need of it, the closed caption is available on it, on our program here each week. If you have a need for it, turn it in. You can turn it off. Here's the warning: if you turn it on, you're going to see all these words on the screen, and that's nothing else. It's confusing. We haven't seen one of our regulars for a while, and I'm talking Johnny. Johnny's with us. That's Johnny Hughes out of Mississippi. He's been hanging out lately and drifted to the back seats, but Johnny's still in there with us pedaling today. Good to see you, Johnny.
Hey, Mr. Johnny.
Good to be here. Thank you.
Yeah, been eating out a lot. I've been noticing that.
Yeah, he's been a regular at that great catfish place, Middendorf's.
Yeah. Yeah, that's to and from Oshner there.
Yeah, that's Johnny, I'm not going to give up, but you give enough to go to Middendorf's. That ain't going to happen. I'd like to. In fact, we went over your way last week, and going over, my wife says, I really wonder where that place is at. And we just passed it. And I had her looking off the side of the road for 50 miles. Coming back, I finally broken into it. But it's a great little catfish Cajun restaurant, seafood restaurant, right on Lake Pontchartrain, in two places. one end of Lake Pontchartrain and the other end of Lake Pontchartrain. So Jeff Schnell does our safety presentation. I think Jeff is in the house. Jeff, are you with us tonight?
Yes, I am.
All right, let me pop you up here. Say something else, Jeff, because I can't see you.
Test, 3, 2, 1. Height. Yeah, got to 8, 9 tonight. Huh?
Well, I'll be doggone.
I'm the good one with the cool, good hair.
Yeah, that's what I typed in. Cool hair. And I can't. Any other co-hosts see him there? There he is. All
I
right.
got popped up.
Good. Hey, Jeff, what's our safety minute this week?
Hey, good evening, everybody. First of all, be safe out there, and good to see everybody out here. One of the things I see, bandsaws. A few people still getting, out there bit by their bandsaws. At school, bandsaws there have kind of this red circle around the blade, like a 3-4 inch circle. I think it's a great idea. Keep your fingers and your body parts away from it. If you're going to push anything in it, use a push stick. Never pushing it with your hand. You're going to get bit. And you may get lucky once, but don't keep trying it. Also, keep your tools sharp. Hard to work safely with dull tools. If you're fighting it, stop, sharpen, take a look at it. Also, inspect your tools. Look at your tools. You look at your handles. Look at the blade. See if there's any fractures, cracks. If you got a broken handle, fix it or get rid of it. Because one day you may not be lucky and that thing's going to fly apart. Also, think about it, creating a checklist, things to check, maintenance on the lathe, on your other things. Don't wait till something starts making noise or breaking down, clean it up and prevent it. And that's it. Be safe out there. May the devil be with you.
Thank you, Jeff. Appreciate the update this week. And I think Sue is still with us tonight. Sue found out that your finger on top of the bandsaw is a no-no, but your finger, Sue, what was that again?
I was reaching under to adjust the trunnion, and the blade was still spinning even though the power was off, and that's how I got my finger. So make sure the blade stops spinning before you try to do any adjustments under the table.
That's a good move. And Sue had a serious bobo. She's probably heads up on the Brenda's Band-Aid Brigade. She's probably at the top of the list right now. And if you move up on the list, it's not a bonus. Okay. And
thanks, Kevin.
Eddie, I'd like to add something on the thing. I'm talking about lathe maintenance.
Yes.
I noticed Robust has a really nice 6-page document on maintaining the lathe.
Really?
Yeah, it's a really nice document. I looked it up and started reading it, and I actually printed it because it was so nice. But it was even talking about rechasing the threads on it and running it through the taps and the whole bit on cleaning up the lathe.
And that's print over at Robust, isn't it?
It was a good thing. I met lathe maintenance.
All right,
That's what I've seen. And it's free on the internet.
I'm going to ask him, make sure we can move it over to our internet if he doesn't have an objection. So I'll ask him. He's a good guy. He makes some great equipment. He really does.
Hey, Eddie.
Yes, sir.
I'd like to throw in a safety tip concerning bandsaws. I saw a video of a guy who with a jet 14-inch went to turn his bandsaw off, and the stop switch is right next to the channel where the blade is running through. And on the jet 14, that is an open channel. You can stick your finger in there. So what I came up with was take a 3/4 inch wide strip of wood, about an 1/8 inch thick, and cover it. And then I used just a bead of goop along the edge so that you can work as a hinge. You can open it, change the blade, and let it close.
Good idea.
Did that make sense?
Yeah. What color goop did you use?
What color?
Boy, we got to be specific here, man. I know what you're talking about. I put a piece of bent plexiglass with a Velcro strip over an older Delta I sold because the piece There was a protection that opened and closed, but it was gone. So I took a piece of bent plexiglass, put Velcro on it, put it on there, so, you know, it covered it up. Essentially the same thing, you know, and that's the deal. If you see a danger, keep it away from you. Just saying, oh, I know it's there is not enough. Keep it away from you. We hear a lot about people getting hit by chuck wrenches and keys, all this stuff. It's just you have to work out a way to avoid it. Somebody on our program, maybe it was Scott last week, said he never takes his hand off the chuck key. You put it in. Okay, Cade. Yeah, if you put it in and you use it, take it out. If you put it in and you go do something else, still take it out. If you get to be that automatic reflex action of, okay, this would be dangerous to leave it in there. It only takes one time, and that's the one we're looking for. Not looking for that one time. So, thank you, Jeff, for your.
Could we get that email address or the web address for that lathe or that was just mentioned?
Okay, can somebody throw it in chat?
Yeah.
That's what we're looking for. Somebody throw it in chat so we can all see it. And remember, that's the box. Chat is the box. If you got something to talk about, promote, whatever, chat's the box. We're very strict about promoting a product, saying you got to have this in order to do that. You know, that's not going to happen here. But if you've got something, it can go in the chat. And that's where you'll find all the little tidbits. In fact, all the names and addresses of folks you're trying to find, because we do not have a members roster or something that can be distributed like that. All right, tonight we will do the gallery in a little while. I don't see Dane in here yet. Nope, not yet. He said he'll be joining us. Otherwise, we'll let Doug Miller handle collecting the names. And here's the deal. If you would like to show something in our gallery, all you have to do is let the chat know I have something to show. And then our gallery master will know to call on you. He'll call on you and say, hey, Gary, we're down to look at your piece. That's when you unmute yourself and you show your piece. Consider this, not a fussing thing, okay? Consider this. If when you're sitting in front of your computer, if you pick the piece up and you can't see what it looks like, I can't see what it looks like. Pretty much bottom line. If you can't see it, I can't see it. So right now, before you show us this piece, hold it up. See if the light's right. You may have to turn a light on across the room because that's where the light I need comes from. And that'll light it up for you. The little bright light you got shining on your computer table or whatever, that won't work because the light's coming from this way and the light coming from that way. So
The light's not shining in your face. It's not going to work.
That's the way to put it, Billy. That's what. Explain that one more time, Billy.
If the light is not shining in your face, it's not going to be nice. Need it to be in your face so everyone else can see it.
Just like Billy's holding that piece right there. See, you can see that piece.
Yeah.
You back up again. Spotlight. Show it again, Billy. You see that light's coming straight at this piece. And it's not a fussing thing, folks. We want to see your work. We want to see the beauty of your work and the techniques that go into it. Really, we'd like to tell us about how big it is, what kind of wood it is, what you got finished on, how hard it was to turn, and how much you like it, all that stuff. But just so we can see the piece is important. It's coming up on the top of the hour, folks. Each week we have a gallery. And I'm going to mute everybody. And I am going to put on the gallery to show you. And then it's going to run a couple of times so you can see it. And then you will get a ballot appear on your screen. And will you please pick the number one piece you see tonight on that gallery as your turning of the week. And it's not a competition. We have no way to pay you or give you anything. It's just a gallery from our members. Here you go. Well, there you go, members. That is our gallery for this week. That's the turning of the week gallery. Here comes the ballot right there. Now, if you will pick out your choice of the numbers you saw on the screen, remember the no names here, the numbers you saw on the screen, then we will have our gallery master or Trace will assemble our votes and see what's happening. We'd appreciate everybody to vote. Really, every member is equal. You all saw the same work just now. Pick what you believe to be the best looking turning or the best turning of the week that you've seen in. And if you like to send us one, the rule is email it to the club address, worldwidewoodturners@gmail.com. And if you're a novice, put novice, and will be a different category for novice rather than the overall category that we have together. We have 67% of the membership has voted so far. We'll give you a few moments and then Trace is going to close it out and tell us who the winner is. And I have got the magic sheet that tells me what their name is. Trace doesn't have that. Dave doesn't have that. So, but that's what we'll do. 72%. Trace is going to call time on us in a moment. So if you'd like to get in there, you have to unmute yourself to chat. It's open season right now. In a few minutes, we're going to go to Bob Grinstead's place for a tour of a shop and then maybe another demo a little bit later on. So let's go to Trace. You ready?
I'm ready.
All right, let's end that poll and go with it.
The poll is ended and choice number 1.
That's done by Andy. That's Andy with us. Hey, Andy.
Hey, thank you very much. Makes me feel good.
Yeah, Andy did that piece for us. And somebody asked me the other day when they were looking at our gallery, why 3 photographs? Why did we do 3 photographs, Andy?
Well, I had to do show the 2 different sides and 1 photo with the lid open.
Yep. You
Just
sent
to
me
show the
3
lid a little bit up.
photographs. You sent me 3 photographs. We used 3 photographs to give everybody a fair look at what it was. When I got to one of them, I had to close way up on it to see the seam between the top and the bottom. Because
What, Andy, what wood was that?
That was another piece of cherry Burl. The same lady and bought 2 more, wanted a 3rd one, so made her a 3rd one.
Gotta love that cherry Burl.
Well, I do.
Mm.
It's
Every
real
time I
pretty.
cut into it, I learn something new.
Oh, yeah.
Like the hummingbird in it.
Oh, boy.
Did you see the hummingbird?
That I didn't see, but I'm glad you did. I
See,
see
now-
what you're looking at, and yeah, it could possibly be
I
there.
saw it.
And the birds, they just go with the,
That's a potential birdhouse.
Somebody's really good at looking at ink splotches for some reason.
Yeah.
I know it's legal in PA, but I'm not looking at ink blotches yet.
Okay. Thank you and congratulations to you, Andy. Beautiful piece.
Thank you.
Beat that drum one more time. Folks, you got a piece to show us. You want to be in this challenge. It's every single week. And Andy is the first of 9 winners in the competition. There were 9 winners in that challenge tonight. And all of it, great looking wood turning. That's imagination sparking. You see those pieces? Have you taken a look at those pieces? You can see them on a rerun of this program and just thought, you know, I can do that or something like that with a piece I have like this, and I can turn it to do that. And I do that every week. I have tons of notes each week about things that I could change, box within a box, within a box, within a box, within the lid, and a box with the, you know, all this other stuff. And it's all right here, Worldwide Woodturners. And that's why. Thank you so much for being part of this program and this club, and it's worldwide. And I think Bob Grinstead's with us right now. Bob, are you still with us? I saw it. His name is right there. Bob, you
Yeah, I'm
ready?
here.
Okay, you ready to take us on a little tour of your shop?
Sure, if you can tell me how to share the screen, do I just press the button here
Hold on. Multiple participation style share screen. Now you can.
or? Okay, let's see what I got going here then. This is really for the local club. So when I give you a date in here, it was for it.
I'm not seeing the video.
Well, I don't know. How do I get back here?
Okay. Are you seeing something that says stop share?
Let me go back to it. No, I don't see anything that says
I don't
stop
think you
share.
ever shared it.
Yeah, I don't think you shared it either. So on the
When you
bottom of your
do-
screen where it says share screen,
Yeah.
and that you get a screen pop up that'll show you 5 or 6 different views of your monitor.
Oh, okay. And then I have to hit share again.
No, you pick a
Yep,
window.
but pick a window that you want to share with us, but click the bottom left-hand corner where it says include audio.
Share sound. Okay.
Share sound, okay? And
All
then,
right,
pick,
and then-
pick the image you want to share with us.
I think that's it. I'm going to share a screen, so I think that's what it's going to do. And then hit share.
Yes, sir. All right, start the video. Do you have it? There you. I think
Well, I can't
no.
find the video right now. Let's see here. How about now? Can you see that one?
Yes.
I'm Bob Grinstead.
There you
can
are.
hear it?
Yeah, it's up,
Shop
it's up.
is not real big, but does everything I want it to do. So I'm not looking for more space. I'm always looking for more tools, but never more space. I turn on a Shopsmith. I really don't have a large lathe. I say large, you know, this is a 16 by 34, I think, lathe, a 2-horse. This is one of their newer models. This is a Power Pro. I've been a member of the club since I think 2018 or 2019, and really enjoyed it and learning a lot. But anyway, this is my horse. This is where I stay all the time. I don't do a lot of table work anymore, table saw work anymore. I do a lot of welding, but I have a 2-horse motor here and variable speed, so you can do nearly anything that you want or would like to do. There are some drawbacks to this, and everybody's always heard about their drawbacks. But for the people that have a Shopsmith, I think it's great. You can move it, it's light enough, you can roll it out put it in your pickup, go somewhere, do whatever you want, and take it where you want to go. Sometimes I move it outside the garage. I'm in a 3-car garage, but I'm in the 2-car side, and most or nearly everything is. Anyway, sometimes I roll it out in front of the garage door and turn out there, and it's nice and cool and good weather. But let me talk about the shopsmith a minute. I have added a few things here. I've got a tool thing here, another little shelf. I made several of the tool, what do you call them? Anyway, I made several different ones of those. But it has a 5/8 inch shaft, and the tailstock is a little weak. It's aluminum, and it's just a little bit weak, so I have improved it. The tailstock I have improved with this. It comes on and off. So this thing comes out of here, and put different attachments in there. But that's normally what I'm turning big stuff with, is this tailstock. And since that's a 5/8, I have made an adapter that will convert that 5/8 to a 1-inch spindle. So it's a, I guess you call it a 3-point hookup. But anyway, he's got support here for the bearing and this one, and a support out here for this bearing, and it all tightens down. So put that on there. I'm gonna pull it back up here in a minute. And then you can put a regular chuck on it. But you know, it's a 1-inch 8th thread chuck, 1/8 inch chuck. And that's not going anywhere. You're not gonna bend it. And with a 2-horse motor, this is perfect. I don't have any problem. I did buy one of the universal tool rests. I like that because it's heavier. And of course I made a new arm. I didn't like their arm. I broke it twice. I broke the spindle twice too. I bent it twice. Second time it's like a $150 item. Second time I straightened it back out with a hammer. And so now I'm not gonna bend it. Add-ons here, it gets hot if you run it for a long time. Even the old one got hot, but the old one wasn't electronic. It was just a motor on switch, Reeves drive. And but this one is electronically controlled. So I've added an add-on fan here that I never gets hot anymore. And it just sits on here. It's really a blower with a filter, but it just sits in there and blows away. I never get it hot. Okay, I have several attachments. I've got a 4-inch joiner, a 1-inch sander, 6-inch sander, a jigsaw, and a planer. Let's go ahead and do the tool rack if you want to while you're here. I did make a tool rack. That works real well. It's just using the magnets that you get at home, Harbor Freight, to hold it on there, hold it on those cabinets. And it hasn't moved since I stuck it up there. They're pretty strong magnets. What else here? I've got a lathe duplicator up here at the top. I've got some different size things here so you can do spindle work. I've got a deal for a router. I've got string clamps. I don't know if y'all have seen the string clamps or not, but these are great. I like string clamps better than anything else trying to tighten down segmented bowls, segmented rings. So those are cheap. They work great. They're perfect for that. I do have an index wheel. I've actually got 2 of these. I bought this one and it doesn't have enough holes in it, so then I bought a 192-inch aluminum one from I believe it's Chef Ware or something like that. But anyway, and they all fit on here. Of course, my vacuum cleaner, you need one of these if you have a shop vac. You need one of these on IDA systems. I think Dust Deputy or something like that. But I put it on a cart where I can move it around and everything in one deal there. I like to make jigs, so I kind of ran out of room on the wall, so I made some portable walls here. I made some portable walls here that can roll in and out. They're on metal rollers, so they don't collapse on you. If you use the plastic rollers or little anything plastic, will get the flat spot on it and breaks in a couple of years. What else here? All right, so I'm gonna change this a little bit. You know, all this thing is configurable, so you can put anything, attachment, whatever you want on here, make your own attachments, is what I had done. So I have a belt sander that I'm gonna put on here and show you that. Because I think everybody, even on a regular lathe, you could use this. You could make your own just to fit on your Powermatic or whatever you have. So let me set that up. We're gonna stop a minute and set that up. All right, one of the add-ons I've done is made I guess it's a disc sander. Is that what they call these?
A drum sander.
Drum sander, there you go. Got to get me straight here, but it's a drum sander. Let me tighten this down and I'll turn it on for you. And this thing, of course, moves, you know, up and down. You can adjust it. Have a dust collector system made out of a piece of PVC that's heated and expanded. You just heat it up with a heat gun, make it whatever size you want. It just sits in here. It picks up every bit of dust. There's no dust flying around anywhere. So it does a real good job. And then these are all adjustable. You can raise either side or however you want it, the tension on it. The reels themselves, these things are made out of 4-inch PVC. So I really made the ends, just a stopper in both ends, something that'll fit on here, and then I have a metal fitting for 5/8 inch drive on this end. Show this. So I guess you netted all that. But anyway, this is the end. This is the drive end. It's a 5/8 inch shaft and coupling that's just welded onto a washer and screwed into the plug that I've got in here. I bought the Velcro and the sanding strips from Grizzly. Wasn't too expensive, and so that worked out great. But, that does. It works great for me. Just like, oops, put it back in there together. Just like that. I got a Craftsman drill press, a standalone. I have a Shopsmith bandsaw. It's a 6" by 11" throw on it. Which might be a little small, but I don't cut anything bigger than 6" blanks anyway. You know, I usually cut them at 5 or 6, usually 5" blanks for the bowls. Anything deeper than that, and I really don't like them. People don't like a real big bowl. If I have big bowls, I can get rid of the littler bowls, 12" bowls, easier than I can a 16" bowl. People have more room for them, I guess. Clamps, I've got lots of clamps. Lots of different things. I got flex shaft. I don't know if y'all ever have one of these, but these are great. I think that's a 1/4 inch and 1/4 inch spindle on it. Sharpening tools. I made my own Wolverine jig here, so I can move it in or out wherever I want it. Put the tool in here. Let me get a tool. This thing here. The only thing that matters, this doesn't matter, this angle here doesn't really matter. The only thing that matters is the angle of where it hits the tool. So I can put that other little piece I had, what do I do with it? Here we go. Normally this is where I set it up for a 2" for a spindle gouge, I mean a bowl gouge, 55° Ellsworth grind. And then I can put that in there and I can get a 37° for a detail gouge. And that's my grinder. This is some oak bowl storage that I had. These are ready to turn. They've been out here since about a year, so I'm ready to turn them. I do have a lot of different pieces that I have in here that I make different things with. I don't like them less than 2 inches, so this is almost useless to me, but I'd make something a platter or maybe even finials out of that. I've tried soaking stuff in alcohol. I don't know if y'all ever did that or not, but you take the green piece and you rough it out and soak it in denatured alcohol to let it dry out. It was okay, but I wasn't that impressed with it, so I don't use that anymore. What I use is the anchor seal, and I let it sit. So I rough them out, cut them green, rough them out, and put the anchor seal on.
What's on the wall behind you?
This is my air conditioner out here. It works pretty good. It's a 1.5 ton for a 3-car garage, but with no insulation in here, so it's really undersized. It could probably be a 2, and then it would be fine. But with no insulation, it doesn't quite keep up out here. Under that, I've got storage for bowls. I've got a lot of bowls roughed out, ready to turn, or will be. Some of these were in the 4 of this year. I think that was probably the last one. No, there's a 5 in them. But so I like to rough them out and have them ready to turn.
Okay.
The white oak, I have several white oak. I got I don't know if it's live oak or what it is. It has pretty grain in it, but it's not colorful enough. I think the light color doesn't make a pretty bow. So I decided to start fuming them. And what you do is you use ammonia, a little bowl of ammonia in a box or in some sealed container. I just happen to have a box here with a lid on it. So I set the bowl down in there with the ammonia. I set something to hold the bowl up and put the bowl on here, close the lid, and leave it for 48 hours. And then you end up with a brown bowl, and it's pretty. A whole lot. Most of the bigger pieces are already cut up. I do have some here that are sitting. You know, I hate for it to sit here because even though I've got it coated with anchor seal, it still cracks. But I see right here is a nice crotch piece. Different pieces, different kind. I really don't like cedar because it cracks too much. It really cracks them. Over here I made a sawmill. I didn't want to go out and buy one. So I made a sawmill that slides back and forth and raises up and down. And I've got an 18-inch electric chainsaw in it. I don't like the gas ones. They never run when I want to use them, so I like the electric. Put a drill on here and run this thing up whatever height you want. Cut it. If it's if it doesn't cut enough, like I said, I got an 18-inch chainsaw, but you're only cutting 14 inches maybe. So if it's not big enough, then I cut one side and move this thing to the other side and cut it again. So I can make 2 slices down that same trunk, and the trunk never moves. And this thing's light enough to just pick it up and move it. This is, you put a wrench on this and you can crank it and keep a constant tension on the saw as it goes through. It all sits on the trailer. I don't have to move the wood. I don't have to move anything. I just back it in here and set it up, and away I go. Then I use a bandsaw to round them out. You know, I cut them usually in 5-inch blanks, 5 or 6. But like I said, the bandsaw is only a 6-inch, so I like a 5-inch blank, and then I can round them out on the bandsaw, and works great. Turn them out, all green wood.
All right, guys, how do I get back here?
Thank you.
All right, I'm going to stop your sharing, and now you're on screen.
Okay. Yeah, that was, like I said, that video was really made for the local club here. So I didn't see this place, didn't find out about this one until this year, and really enjoy it. So glad y'all are doing this.
This is your local club. We're just a little bit large local club. So thanks for sharing with us tonight. Bob, really appreciate that. Sure. Walking through your shop. I got some ideas. I did. I saw some of those sneaky things you had going on there. Yeah, I'm in the process of retooling the shop. And folks, we're always in a process of retooling our shops. As to what degree we'll be able to go through it. And unfortunately, the almighty dollars decide mine right now, but thanks to some help from some members and some friends, we're getting it done. We're going to do gallery this evening. If you'd like to show something in our gallery, go to our chat and put it in our chat. I have something to show. And our gallery master tonight happens to be one of our volunteer co-hosts, and it's Doug. And Doug is going to say, hey, I have Billy up and he's got a piece to show us tonight. And that's when he says that, unmute yourself and show the piece if you would. I see notes here from Jim Selby, a whole lot of other folks. So Doug, when do you want to start?
All right, let's start with Joaquin. And
Yes, sir.
Joaquin, help me with your last name.
Watai.
Watai. Okay, that's what I was going to guess.
Okay, that's not him. I know that guy. The guy in the bathrobe wasn't Joaquin. Not that I would know him in the bathrobe, but that's not Joaquin. Okay.
Yeah, I'm not wearing a bathrobe. Sorry.
Okay. All right. Well, your spotlight is.
There
So
we
go
go.
ahead, please.
All right. So I've been, I got hit with the Wu flu last month and took me down. And when I started to recover, I wanted to get back in the shop. So I have been very busy for the last 2.5, 3 weeks. It started with, we broke out our cornucopia for the holiday season, and only the lid of the acorn box that I made 2 years ago was in there, and the acorn has disappeared. So the first thing I did, this is my recovery turning, is an applewood body, walnut top, acorn box.
Oh, it had wood turners fit. I heard that.
This belongs, sorry, my dogs are playing bitey face. This belongs in the cornucopia every year, and so that was my first turning. Since then, I have been very busy. Bottle stoppers.
Ooh, those are pretty.
This is black limba. This is cherry burl. This is
Did you get
another
that
head.
cherry burl from did you manage to get that off Andy? Or you?
No, sir. This is,
Okay.
I have some woodcutters locally who I met. They were cutting on the property across the way. And one day I just walked across the street because they were over there working on the driveway. And I said, hey, I'm a wood turner. Do you happen to have any burl? And I made a relationship that's lasted more than 2 years now. And I don't pay for a lot of my wood. This has been sitting in the lot for 3 years. You want it? And they load me up with 6 slabs this thick of spalted maple. And I'm sitting here going, I don't know if my truck will carry it. Thank you. You know, so this cherry burl, I whittle away at my cherry burl. I've got 1.5 big burls left, and I just keep cutting it down. And so I end up with all kinds of little corners and things. I make a big bowl or a vase, and I end up with a little corner, and those make great bottle stoppers. So there, as Kim Tippin says, there is no such thing as scrap wood. It's wood you haven't turned yet. Literally, the piece of burl that this came out of was probably a 6-sided, unnameable shape, just to cut off. And I said, well, if I cut this side flat, drill a hole, I can make a bottle stopper. And I got a great little bottle stopper out of that. That's Ruth Niles small whiskey stopper. No, that's a medium. This is another piece of black limba. I'm between bases on it because I swapped a medium for a large with a customer. This is spalted walnut. And you can see the spalt.
Wow.
In the yeah, it doesn't really turn out. This is a 4-axis. It doesn't really turn out spindle, but the spalting is crazy. And I put it in the mail this morning, but I made a my parents' 32nd anniversary was last week. I made a goblet with the spalted walnut with conjoined captive rings. So I broke one ring, finished the goblet, glued it back on, intertwined with the first ring, both around the stem. And I have pictures, and I'll share pictures
You have
after
them?
my mom gets the box. I can't share pictures because she follows me on all my social media. So once they get the box, I'll share the pictures. But that was really beautiful. But I did a demonstration on TikTok of off-center turning, of multi-axis turning, and I made a couple of these, and it's still on the mandrel. But all finished with Brad's workbench. I've been very busy. This is birch. It's actually spalted, but because it's end grain, you don't get to see it. This is a 9x5 yarn bowl. When I design my yarn bowls, one thing I do is I keep the base fairly heavy, although it's less than a 1/4 inch in the middle. These edges are almost an inch deep. And the reason for that is if you do get a knot in your yarn, what you don't want is to pull on your yarn and have your bowl turn. So I always leave my bases heavy. And Dane, I think, told us about a month and a half ago about using the router attachment on your Dremel to cut the J slot. Game changer. That works.
Yeah, that was me.
Yes, thank you.
You're
Game
welcome.
changer. That was a big deal. That made all the difference in the world. So thank you very much.
You're
Wow,
welcome.
one
I'm
would
glad
turn
you
a
found
hell-
it useful, because that was that. I tried a bunch of different things, and that was the one that worked best for me too. Great.
This worked better than me sitting there with my pole saw, hoping I could get it to turn because the blade's this thick. This was great. And but one tip I will give you, if you don't know already, and I'm sure most of you know, drill the hole after you turn the outside of the bowl, sand it, put your finish on it, then drill the hole and drill it at least a 1/2 inch deep. Why? Because it doesn't tear out when you turn the inside if the hole's already there. Whereas if you drill the hole after you turn the inside, not only will you get it blow out on the inside, but it also makes this is not going to move. And it's less than a 1/4 inch thick, but it does not move. But if you drill the hole after you've turned it, this goes crazy. So that's a lesson learned. Anyway,
So
that's spalted
what's
birch, but you
the-
can only see the spalting in the middle because I turned it all the way.
Hold on, Joaquin, you got a
So-
question for him? Somebody had a question?
Well, what's a good diameter and depth for the yarn bowl? I haven't been able to find it. So
Okay. That's a good question. My mom has been crocheting for 50 years, and I've turned her a little 6-inch bowl that was 5.5 or 6 inches tall, and she loved it because she does really fine yarn and she does like lace. And I turned her a 7-inch by 6-inch bowl. The rule of thumb that I use is 4 inches or deeper and at least 4 inches or wider. But it depends on the crocheter how big they need the bowl. I have a bunch of people who are very interested, so I just started cranking out yarn bowls. And this happened to be the first one, and I had a birch cookie, and I was like, well, that's bowl size. Let's make a yarn bowl. So this was literally just, oh, well, that's bowl size. You can see I still have a little bit of natural edge. It wasn't well, I'm going to calculate it, and this is going to be 6 inches by 4 inches. Wasn't anything like that. It was just, that'll make a great bowl. Let's make it a yarn bowl. I've never had a complaint. I've seen yarn bowls that were this deep, but because of the J slot, it worked. I don't make them, but anyway, like I said, I've been very busy.
I try to make them. I try to make mine at least 7 inches on the internal diameter.
Yes.
A lot of the knitters I have made them for use double skeins, which is like a twice big, and they want them, 7 to 8 inches at minimum, and 6 inches tall at least.
Yeah,
Now,
and this is a big yarn bowl. It's 9 inches. That's a lot. That's a lot of acreage right there.
One of
My
the things they
mom-
one of the things they really like is they like the tops closed in like you've got it there. They like
Right.
the rim to curve in. Yep.
Yeah, and that you can actually, if I had curved this rim in a little more, you wouldn't have to have a J slot. Simply the friction, if it's curved in just a little bit more, the friction of the yarn trying to climb up the side does the job of not letting it tangle. And I cannot remember his name. I've seen it on Facebook. There is a guy who turns yarn balls and he uses different African woods, and they're about 8 inches tall and 8 inches wide, and it's only the slope in, and it works. They work great. They're beautiful bowls. They're incredible. Anyway, like I said, I've been busy. I made my first Celtic knot. I didn't saw deep enough. And also, this is Wenge, and Wenge is very porous, and you can actually see the tube through the wood in a couple of places. This is a Cogent fountain pen, and I just decided, I had it in stock, and I decided, you know what, I'm going to try the Celtic knot, and so this is my pen because I can see brass through the grain, and I didn't saw deep enough. You can see the mistakes. Focus.
Oh, wait. Those aren't mistakes. Those are design changes.
You can see the art history on the one side of the pen, and then everything connects up and worked out really well.
All right.
This
You
is
keep talking like that, you can become a senior member.
This is a brass sheet from Michaels. It was the same. I have a Zona miter saw set, which I absolutely hate because the saw warps while you're sawing. It moves while you're sawing, but it's exactly the same. The 10 1/100ths of an inch is the exact same width as the brass sheet. So that was learning how to do it. So now I'm starting to work on perfecting the method. And the last thing, this is a work in progress. This part is finished. The pen part is getting started within the next day or two. This is an inkwell. This is black lemba on the bottom. And you can see the chatoyance.
Nice chatoyance, yes.
Isn't that correct? This wood is, I got it from another woodworker in Pennsylvania, and I'd never heard of it before, and I absolutely love it. So it's cherry burl on top, and it is a functional inkwell. You can dip ink in it, or you can put extra nibs in it, and it's a functional inkwell. I'm doing a completely bespoke fountain pen. So I'll demonstrate with this, but you can rest your pen. You can use it as an actual inkwell or rest your pen. And I have a glue up in my shop drying of Purple Heart, where the hand goes, a diagonal stripe of Sapele, and then catalogs as the rest of the pen. And this is a project I am trading a potter named Brooke Gaiman for a custom-made mug. And he's also an illustrator, so I'm making him a new pen and inkwell. And that's just it's just a treat. This is so much fun to make. And then I'm also cranking out boxes and hairpins for my sister's art gallery in Oregon. So she needed more stash boxes because things are legal in Oregon. This is just cherry. I have a second one sitting on the lathe. And and one last thing. And like I said, I've been really busy. Another wood turner gave me a truck full of walnut. And this is a piece of crotchwood. And it is crazy. The grain literally goes 360 degrees.
Okay,
what kind of walnut is that? Is that English walnut?
This is just black walnut, American black walnut from South Carolina.
Okay.
From South Carolina. Is that not incredible? I can't sell this piece. This is not going anywhere. It's too pretty. But this is one piece he gave me was the crotch sliced sideways and it was that thick. And he said, I can't do anything with this. What can you do? So I looked at it for a month, and finally it talked to me. And this is I very intentionally, there's tear out, it's rough, it's not, I only sanded it to 300. I didn't use sanding paste. I wanted this to be as coarse as the grain is wild. And I couldn't be happier. And that's probably why it's never going to get sold. I think this is going to end up holding apples on the table or something. And I managed to keep a little bit of the crotch, just a hair. But this piece is, I'm really proud of this because it just really, this is the wood. It's just thinner. So
beautiful. Thank you,
Hey,
Joaquin. Some gorgeous work tonight, sir. Appreciate
Thank you.
Hey,
Thank you.
Joaquin, I have a question about the stash boxes. Is there a recommended sizes? I'm getting requests for those.
Okay. So what my sister said, because I sent her a stack of them a year ago and they've sold out, and she said, I need more. What she said is roughly 3 inches in diameter. And this one's probably a little too tall. Think about kind of a little bit smaller than a tuna fish can. And the reason is because people in legal states like to keep different strains. And so they'll put a gram in one box and a gram in another and a gram in another. This one is a little deep. I'm okay with that. But roughly the size and shape of a tuna can seems to be the best sellers.
All right, great. Thank you.
Also, this is finished entirely with Axe. So it's completely food safe. So it doesn't matter what you put in there, or if you smoke something that was in there, it's not going to harm you. I also highly recommend Brad's Workbench. Speaking of, I am not making any money from this. I am partnering with Brad's Workbench through the 23rd of October for Funnel Club t-shirts. On the back it says, just one more pass means put the bowl gouge down, and all proceeds go to Kim Tippin and her family. So.
Wait. I gotta say that over again.
All proceeds go to Kim Tippin and her family to support their efforts with their new trailer, and she's had a tough time. So until October 23rd, go to wataiwoodturning.com and buy any of my clothing. I have a men's t-shirt, a women's t-shirt, it says Funnel Club. On the back it says, just one more pass means put the bowl gouge down. And then I have a ball cap that just says wataiwoodturning.com and has my logo. All proceeds go to Kim Tippin until October 23rd in partnership with Brad's Workbench.
Joaquin, you may want to double check with Brad. I know he canceled all the proceeds from his paste and wax because at Kim's request.
Okay, I'll talk to him again. I talk to him every day, but I'll check with him again.
Right, you might want to check
Thank
on
you.
with him.
Yeah, I'll holler at him. Thank you. I didn't know that.
Yeah, the GoFundMe has been dropped too.
Okay, well, I know that they were able to get a new trailer and things are better. So let me talk to Brad.
Yeah.
And if that's the case, I'm still donating what I've sold so far.
Gotcha. I'm with you.
Good. Okay. And all this is, we're just helping a member of our gang
Yes.
to overcome a rough time, and she's had a rough time. And she's bouncing back though. She's coming back. There's nothing going to hold that gal down. We miss her because of her contributions to the program. Tonight we were talking about where you get this, where you get that, and all, and Kim would automatically throw it in our chat so you'd have it available. Who's up next for gallery tonight?
By the way, I bought a new Thompson bowl gouge on Kim's recommendation, and she was right. They're amazing.
They are.
All right.
Let's go with Donald Masterson. Donald, what you got for us?
Donald, it's your turn to talk, sir.
Yeah, right. I was just unmuting myself.
Hey, Don. Don's from
Hey,
Australia.
how you doing, bud?
I've been turning some clocks.
We've got to bring you back towards your face, Don. It's going invisible.
Put it in front of your face.
Hang on.
All right. I think he's right now. We're not getting an image at all. Now you're back. Now without an image again. Now your name's back. Okay, yeah, folks, we're using a background, a generated background through Zoom. The depth of field for that image is that the background zooms in on a flat plane like Donald's is right now. And it doesn't see what's front and back. Pull right back to your face, Donald. There you go.
That's nice.
Finished with Triple E and Aussie oil.
That's nice.
Really
You
nice.
think that's nice? Look at this one.
Really? Oh, yeah.
That's gorgeous.
Yeah. I like
That's
Pretty.
I love that bit of timber.
And those are like desk pieces. They're not made to hang there. Desk art.
No, well, they go on as Christmas presents, and they'll actually come with a stand that they can sit in,
Okay.
or they can sit flat on the desk. This one is something I've never seen before. It's spalting,
Yeah, it's pretty.
and I've never seen spalted in floral.
Very nice.
That's all.
All right, Donald, thank you, sir. Appreciate you sharing. Donald
you.
is
Very nice
from
work.
Australia. We all
Great,
worldwide, folks. That's the way it works. We do
You know,
share.
the
Go
only
ahead.
problem he has is the kids probably can't tell time on it because it has dials and not numbers.
Well, it will go into seniors.
Yeah. But hey, there's a YouTube that'll help them learn the
Yeah, there's
numbers.
YouTube to teach them how to tell time.
Yeah, yeah. If you want to totally confuse a kid, give him an old-fashioned wristwatch. I like that one I bought for $20 when I was 10 years old. Took me a whole summer to save up $20. All right, who else is going for gallery tonight?
All right, let's go with Ron Vincent tonight. Ron, what you got for us?
Got a couple texturing tools that I've made.
All right, let's see him again. Go ahead, Ron. We're ready for you. You're popping up right now. Okay.
Oh, okay. It's actually a Dremel tool. It has bearings in it and magnets in the back to hold it. So when you stick it in, it's locked in.
I heard the click.
And then I made a bigger one for it takes a 1/4 inch. It's the same type thing. It spins real freely because it's on bearings, and it has magnets in it to hold the cutter in.
Now,
Where'd you get the bearings?
I ordered them off Amazon. It was like $5 for 10 of them. I only needed 2. But you
Okay.
can see some of the texturing probably on the smaller one better. If I can get it up here where you can see it.
That's pretty.
It is.
I see the ribbons. Yeah.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Gorgeous.
Good
All
finish
right,
to
that's
bring
all I
out the
got.
art. Before you run, have you tried putting a sander disc in that 1/4 inch one?
Not.
Give that a whirl. Get you a little 2-inch sander disc with a 1/4 inch straight shaft on it. Especially if you got that magnet in the bottom to snap it in, it makes an awesome orbital sander for your lathe.
Well, I have the, I think it's a Sorby sander, inertia sander with a 2-inch on it.
Okay, well, if folks can't get the Orsobi, you can make one just like Ron made that tool. You can make a handle to carry the same thing. Appreciate it, Ron. Great for sharing with us tonight. We're here at worldwidewoodturners.org. We invite your input, your presentations in the gallery. We had one note go into chat earlier this evening. And please, before you leave, save the chat. I'm seeing a ton of information on there. One gentleman said something about a bandsaw blades. Here it is. James said this. A bandsaw blade tip is fairly simple. It came from a UK meeting a while back. Grinding the back of the blade on your bandsaw. That's right, the back edge of your blade. Check it out. The front's got teeth, and they point out, and they get sharpened, and they have a gullet and all that to them. but on the back, it's going to be straight steel, square cornered. Now, if you want to play with this to test the theory and see how it works, if you come around the back of a square corner with something, it's going to hang up when you go the other way. It is. Even in the curve, it's going to hang up. So what do? Knock these corners off. Just take a grinding stone. It's recommended to use a file, but I've got a grinding stone made for sharpening lawnmower blades, of all things. And I just run the saw backwards by hand, spin the wheel by hand, and put the stone next to it and knock that corner off. How much do you knock it off? How much do you want to knock it off? It doesn't take much. And don't do it under power the other way. Please do not do it under power the other way. The danger is immense. The problems are terrific, and you will make the front page of the news tomorrow if you do that. Because when you pull that blade towards you, if it does come off, guess what's between you and the blade? Nothing. So that's a tip I learned, 60 years ago. Is just take that back corner off. It makes the blade run better when you turn a curve. Even when you just straight cuts and pull back out, you don't have a claw sticking out there. Who else we have for gallery tonight? Doug
How
Bill
about
is handling
let's
our-
go back. Let's go back to Bob Grinstead. I think he's got something to share with us.
Bob, talk to us, sir.
Yeah, hey, I'm back here again. Can you
All right.
can you find me yet?
I got you now, sir. You're up.
I've got another big bowl here. This is oak bowl, and again the club, local club. Anyway, they wanted a Halloween candy bowl. And man, I can't come up with anything that looks like Halloween. So I did come up with just another oak bowl here. But it turned out good.
That's
Very pretty.
The other thing I want to show though is the difference in the color. This color really turned out fine. This was a general finish, bowl finish on here, and it turned out like a pretty color. But the ones that I have fumed. Here is, this one here is fumed, with that ammonia, and it turns out a deeper, darker color. Brings out
That's
the grain
gorgeous.
real well.
Yeah.
This the problem
really
with
nice.
this one though, when I set it in the box to fume it, I set it right down on top of about 2 inches away from the ammonia, so this bottom got real dark on it. But it turned out good.
Do you find that oak is difficult to turn?
Well, I mean, it's harder to turn, but it's not that bad. I mean, you keep a sharp tool, it'll still turn.
Are you turning it dry or green?
I turned it twice. You
Okay.
turn the green and let it sit here. That's set for a year, and then I turned them again.
The oak I have is kiln dried. It's miserable to turn.
Oh, I bet that is, yeah. This is all the same wood, all the same tree. This one here was fumed again and left 48 hours on this one, and it really turned dark. This one here almost looks like walnut, sitting beside a walnut bowl. It's real close to color. But it still turned out good. It still has a lot of the, I don't know if you can see or not, it has a lot of the grain in it. But anyway, that was my show and tell.
Thank you, Bob. Appreciate it. Thanks for the tour of your shop tonight, folks. Bob.
Before you
Yeah,
go, Bob,
thanks.
how strong was the ammonia solution you used?
How strong? Right out of the bottle.
Okay.
I don't dilute it or anything.
Does that only work with oak?
I think it works with anything that has tannin in the wood, and it'll make it turn darker.
I know it works with cherry too.
Oh, new experiment.
Yeah,
All
I like
right.
the looks of the. I really did like the looks of the fumed bowls, but this one here turned out great. I actually turned 2 more that I didn't fume because they had enough character to them, knots and things that I thought it still would come out good. But this one came out great.
I like it. Color's nice. Rich. Color's
Yeah.
rich. So, again, Bob, thank you. We're doing gallery here this evening, folks. Earlier this evening, we did a little quick tour of Bob's shop. And I have a PM here, yes, as they called, and it says, can we do a tour of our shop? Yeah, we want to see your ideas. We want to see your tools, your tricks, your hints, and all that. We want to see what you have created to make what we do more interesting, fun, safer, and all that. So yes, we'd like to see that. And Bob, I believe yours was shot on a camcorder. I mean, iPhone, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
Okay, so it's one of those things that none of us know anything about. Hey, you can pick up an iPhone, you can shoot a video. Let's go back to gallery tonight.
Now,
Who's
wait a
up
minute,
next?
I didn't do it.
Oh, you did? You had somebody else come in?
I had somebody else do it, yeah.
All right, so we'll
But
find.
I don't
you
have an
later.
iPhone, I have an Android, so. But
Oh,
anyway,
oh.
I think I could have done it.
You could do it on an Android too.
I think I
shoot
could have done
everything
it.
on Android.
Oh
Yeah.
boy, listen to this. It's Apple Android, Apple Android. Come on. All right, who's up, Doug?
Oh, Birdman, Bob Moffett.
Bob Moffett, talk to us, Bob.
Hey, how y'all doing? I taught a class last week at John Campbell, Lamb Brady and I taught together, and we did some offset platters, and this is a couple that we did. They got to work on the bearings there, but they were a little off, but that's one that we did.
That's wonderful.
Boy,
I
that's
haven't,
a piece
I
of
haven't
work.
colored them yet, and that was another one.
Now, you taught this class at John C. Campbell?
Yes. And then this was a piece I did that doesn't have a whole lot of turning in it, but I thought it was sort of fun to do something I'd never done before.
Wow.
And
That's cool.
that's the Joe Sonia paints, and that's red dye and yellow dye, and that's Joe Sonia paints on there.
Gorgeous.
Yeah.
Nice.
See, Bob,
I've
don't
been
tell
just
anybody
trying
you
some
did.
different stuff. I got to get back into birdhouses. So.
Good. All right, Bob. When you do get back to us, because we're relying on that birdhouse stuff from you.
I did learn one thing about the birdhouses. The songbirds don't like hummingbirds. Y'all know why?
All right.
Hummingbirds don't know the words. They just hum.
They can only hum, right?
Oh,
That's a dead joke. if
That's
I
my
ever
corny
heard one.
joke for the evening.
okay. Brenda, you're going to have to go a long ways to beat that one. I'll tell you why.
That was a humdinger.
All right. Hey, folks, we have some demos lined up for the near future, including Dane Chandler, who couldn't be with us tonight. His contractors have gotten into a shop and he can't get them out or whatever. But Dan will be with us next week with the demo. And then we have, I believe, 2 more weeks tentatively lined up. And if you'd like to be one of the demonstrators, just put your name in the chat. Say, Dane, please contact me about a demonstration or a tour or whatever, and give me your phone number or your email address in the chat, because we don't have a roster, remember that. And then we'll get a hold of you. That's how we do this. It helps us get everybody in the club involved in everything. Who's up next for gallery tonight?
Let's go to Jim Shelby.
Talk to us, Jim.
All right. Can you hear me?
I hear you. In a moment, I'll have you up. I have to see your
All right.
face for a moment in order to spotlight you. There you are.
Okay. This is a Purple Heart pen I made. I covered it with Alumilite blue dye, let it dry for about 15 minutes, and then sanded it back. But you can still see the blue highlights on the top of the Purple Heart.
Yeah.
That is beautiful.
Thank you.
Very nice.
Yeah, those
Nice.
things. Sneak.
Real pretty accent.
And Jim helps us with Freedom Pens on the Navy side of the world. So if you got a Freedom Pen that you want to give to a Navy, a sailor, all you have to do is look up Jim. He's on our text tonight with his address and all that. It's also on our website. So support our troops through the Navy with Jim Selby. Thank you, Jim. Appreciate it.
Jim, I'm going to be sending you a package very soon.
Oh,
All right. Thank you very much.
okay. Now, Jim handles the Navy side. But unfortunately, or maybe fortunately, Doug Rowe handles our Army side, and this is Doug's new uniform. That to me, it's don't worry about the bowl. This is the upsetting part of this image is looking at Doug in this. That would be, oh man, let me tell you.
Does it help him turn faster?
No, he told me the speedo helps him turn faster. I don't need to pick this as an image you can't get out of your mind. I mean, we've seen him in a bikini, we've seen him in a wig, and we say in the whole family, not just me and you. Okay?
But at least we're not seeing him in Speedos.
Well, on the right-hand side of that picture, there's a little tutu back there also.
Oh. He didn't want you to see that. That would be spoiling the image. But Doug's not in here this evening. He's like some of the rest of our forces protecting our freedom. Doug's out there doing just that this evening. But he handles our Army side. Ronnie's handling our Marine Corps side. We have an Air Force side. If you want to donate a freedom pen to one of our troops to say thank you, all you have to do is contact us and we'll get it there. We'll find a person in the right place, the right time to get it to a troop. Who's up next?
Okay, let's go to John Brown.
Doug, did you see what I saw just now?
No, I was looking away. I'm sorry.
Somebody said we mentioned.
Here I am.
We mentioned Doug in the Speedo, and he blew rum right over his nose.
Yeah,
Here I am.
I guess we have a disclaimer. Hey, John.
I've got a
Go
couple
ahead,
bottles.
sir.
I've got to get you got to get me up there.
Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Whoa, pull that back. Whoa, man. That's
Hey, that's
There it is. That's a bottle stopper. It's hard maple and Paduke, and it's Milan's friction polish on it. And here's the second one. It's multi-axis with one inlay on each side.
That's nice.
Two
Do
of
you
them
have a
together.
video? Do you have a video of how you made those inlays?
No, I don't. I don't make videos. I don't know how.
Would
Beautiful.
you please demonstrate sometime? Because wow.
Yeah,
Yes.
I can do that. Because I've got
Please.
iPhone set up on a camera down here I've got to do a demonstration here at the retirement center that I'm in. So I'll try to get it working properly. Sometimes it
Thank you,
works,
sir.
sometimes it doesn't.
Thank you.
Okay.
That's incredible.
Yeah,
Yes, love to see that, John.
it's,
yeah, I would too.
That's beautiful,
Really
John.
pretty.
thank you.
Great
Okay.
work as always.
All in favor of John doing a demo, raise your hand.
Absolutely.
It was unanimous.
Overwhelming, isn't it? I'll
Yes,
give it a
was
try.
overwhelming. All right, thank you.
Another week or so.
All right.
Okay, guys, that's all I have tonight.
Thank you, John. Appreciate seeing you this evening. And that's what we
welcome.
do, folks. See, that's a technique that we can all play with. Suppose you don't want the stripes going this way, you want them going that way or whatever, or angle, whatever. This is where you'll get your ideas right here. Worldwide Wood Turners. A lot of input on the on the chat tonight. So if you want to, or will you please save the chat? It's got a ton of information. Otherwise, all that information on the chat and the video from tonight, a presentation from tonight, is included at worldwidewoodturners.org on our website. Our webmaster puts all that information on it. And when we have a demo, he will excerpt the demo and place that on another file. And we also place this on our wood turning website on YouTube. And something came up on I guess these are private messages I get. They're not distributed by. Can we list the YouTube channels for members? We already have that on our website. And if you want to list website channels we could add that to it also. So if you want help here, we're there. Who's got me? Scott Hampton. We saw Scott last week. He says that Dane's put the arm on him to do a demo the first week in November. Boy, you sit still too long, Dane will get you. We look forward to that, Scott. That was a great demo last week, Scott. Really a great demo. Is he back out there?
Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right. Yeah, we kind of rushed you a little bit because I wasn't ready for what the left hand didn't know what the right hand was doing, but we got that together. We shook hands and all that.
Yeah.
We got it worked out. So we'll look for you first week of November. We got time, folks. If you want to be on a demonstration, all you have to do is be there. And Scott threw some other tidbits in the chat tonight about forming, most teas have tannin acid, form a tannin can be used for fuming wood, and et cetera. Tricks and tips on how to handle your raw product to make your end product look much better. Can't tell you how much wood I lost trying to soak it in beer to create Spalt, and how much beer I had to drink just to use the third of the can. Okay, who's up next? Doug?
We're going to the head of the Band-Aid Brigade with Brenda. What you got for us, Brenda?
Talk, Brenda.
I'm here. Can you see me?
I can see you now, Brenda.
All right. See if I can get this up here. The tags are all in the way. I've been making rings this week.
Wow.
You plan on getting married soon or what?
Yeah, I wish. Anyway.
Nice rings there.
I've got little tiny ones. See how little that is?
Yeah.
And then my favorite one though, check this out. This cup, whoops, I'm losing you. The two on the end here. Whoops, they're in the wrong way.
They're nice though.
These two are made out of one blank. And look, they actually, the grain matches. See that?
That's the way to display them. That's the way to display them. You got to make sure to get grain match when you show them.
Yeah, look at that. Look right there.
Beautiful.
That's very nice, Brenda.
They were a pain to make. But I also made 3 more ink pens. The Salute the Troops pen. And I finished everything in the Parfex 3408. And this one here, this one I made in, used olive wood. And I used my favorite tool, I don't know what it's called, but I turned that thing up on its side and sliced the wood, you know, with like a cue. And this one, I did not even sand it. Loved the way this one turned out.
Wow, you did good.
And then I got this one here too. You see the green
one you didn't sand, did you use your skew or your spindle roughing gouge?
I think it's like a 1/2 inch or 1 bowl gouge.
Really? Good. Cool.
And
but
I just
you rode that bevel and made it a slice.
Yep.
Slice it over there. Oh, I love that. I mean, you could just see it shine just as soon as that cut came through there, you know?
Yeah. The reason I turn pens is because it forces me to use better technique. It's practice, it's technique training.
Yeah. And the same with the rings. If you need patience, oh my goodness. These things start like with a 1 inch blank, and you got to, you know, turn them down to 1 millimeter thin. And to do that, it's when I was doing it, I thought I'm not making shavings, I'm making sawdust, because you just very light cuts.
No, but those are still shavings, Brenda. They're still shavings. They're just fine little shavings.
Very, very fine.
Yeah,
I have to sluice those off in the shower all the time.
Took forever.
What are you holding them with, Brenda?
Just
when you're turning.
Oh, actually, the YouTube video I watched said you start with double-sided tape. I could not find tape that would hold it, so I just put it in my chuck, my jaw chuck. Clamped it down and just drilled a hole through the middle. Turned the middle. Put the ring core in it, and then put it on a pin mandrel.
That's one way to do it. They make some ring adapters to go on pen mandrels that are made of a Bakelite product that are
Yeah, I
funnel
got
shaped.
the oh, they're big plastic bushings.
Yes.
Yeah, that fit
Yeah.
right on your pin mandrel.
Yeah.
So,
I played with a couple of mandrel type options for that, and when I get back to doing videos again, that's on my list because they're a
Yeah.
fun little project. When I made the first ring I made, the first ring I did was a piece of epoxy that I got from Ruth Niles, and it was a pretty good sized piece. So I did a big band for me, size 14 or whatever it is. And my wife looked at it and said, I'd love to have one of those. I did 3 sizes for her before we get it down right. If you're doing them, Brenda, and by order, you know, that little ring thing for gauging rings, come on a chain and you can size them.
I got one of them.
Yeah, that's the only way to get somebody to order a ring is
Yeah.
let them put their finger. I think it's a 7. I think it's an 8. I didn't think I was a 14, but what the heck? But
I got a guy at my club. I got a guy on my club who makes a lot of rings, and he has one of those ring sizing things on a number 2 MT. So
Yeah.
it's yay long, it's 8 inches long with all the sizes marked and tapered, and it's on a number 2 MT. He just sticks it in his spindle, and that's how he sizes the rings. He also uses those nylon jaws, those ones that you can turn. So
yes, like the rubber chucky or whatever.
yeah. But I know Sonova makes a nylon jaws where you can shape them the size you want, and he uses those. He makes them in steps. He shapes a couple of steps for the different ring sizes, and that's what he uses to hold them with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now I've made those jaws out of a product that got at Piedmont Plastic near. It is not plexiglass. It was a dense white colored product that was more resilient than plexiglass. And I've got several sets of jaws made like that. All right, Brenda, what is that wood?
This one was Coco Bolo, and it got really dark, but on one side of it, you can see the grain. You probably can't see it from there, but I've been wearing this one for a week.
Good, nice. I mean,
Bolo.
I've made one for a lot of my kids, grandkids, and
Yeah.
maybe my great grandson will get one day.
The Comfort Fit rings, I love it. It is very comfortable to wear.
Yeah. And it's a 1-piece sleeve in there. It's not pieces you got to snap together or glue or anything else.
Right. I did see that they do make some like that, but I didn't want to mess with that.
I've had okay, we're away from that.
Brenda, put that in the chat, will you? The type of ring you have there, what is that metal?
The product you use in that ring product, will you put the ID for that in the chat? Where did you buy it at?
The ring core?
Yes.
Okay.
Put that info in the chat. That'll help us out.
Okie dokie.
It's called sharing information, folks. That's what it is, sharing information.
Let
Go ahead.
me add something on ring sizing. When you're sizing a ring from somebody, you need to get them to try on a test ring and say, okay, that fits. And then you need to take your ring mandrel that you're using and test the one that they just tried on, because the ring sizes and the ring mandrels are not all the same. Some of them are different. I've heard horror stories on that. When I took the jury class, professor was working in the back, and lady wanted a ring size. So in the front, they checked the ring. Okay, that's the size of it. And they gave him the order back in the back. But what happened was his ring sizer and the ring sizer in the front of the store were different. From different companies, they did not match. And he kept resizing the ring that didn't work. And it finally worked after he used his ring sizer and checked it. So don't just trust that number. Use the same one that you're using.
A guy used to be in a club with us, did rings and sold them in an art thing, and he would take orders. And if you wanted a ring to fit this finger, he'd say, okay, give me that ring. And he'd put it on his sleeve and let you look at it and say, okay, this is reading a 14 or a 9 or a 7 or whatever. that's what I'm gonna make you. And then he'd take your order. Because I know what you talked about. Wife said, I'll wear a size 7. And there's no rule of thumb on that. I mean, no, it's not in stone. Thank you, Trace. I appreciate you sharing that. We have a lot of information on the chat tonight. Go there if you need some. And just like we asked Brenda to put her source for those rings in the chat. And if you know of a mandrel or a jig or a rig or whatever to do it, or a drill bit to cut it with, or whatever you have that involves that, identify it, put it in our chat. Be really grateful because that's all we're here for, is sharing information. Sharing information. We spoke a few minutes ago about Freedom Pens. Freedom Pens is an ongoing project with us. Will always be here as long as I'm here, and probably as long as you're here too. We collect the pens, send it to those troops, people protecting our freedom. That's not a rant. I'm not a recruiter. You know, I served like many of you have, and it's a little bit special when you know the people that you serve give you something in thanks. Yeah, it's not a check, it's a thought. So if you can turn a pen, just one pen, you've accomplished a goal. You've thanked one of our troops for what they do. Just one pen's all we need. Ronnie needs like 7,003, but because he's going to take care of most of the military on the eastern border of the country when he goes to his son's graduation. So here we go. Joaquin says ring size is different if you use imperial or U.S. measurement. That could be true. And here how much easier life would be for us Americans if we went to millimeters. Who's up, Doug?
How about Bill Louch? What you got for us, Bill?
Start talking, Bill.
Good evening, gentlemen. Can you find me?
I'll get you there 1 minute. Now,
All right.
Now we got you, Bill.
There we go. Okay, so I found this piece of spalted maple in the shop, and it was a really awkward shape, but it was beautifully spalted. And I couldn't bring myself to put it all on the floor. So I left a couple sides that are still almost flat. I left the top the way it was. I just smoothed it out a little bit. And it is, to me, the most gorgeous piece of spalted maple I have ever seen.
It is beautiful. Wow.
Yeah. And of course, like maple, it finishes beautifully.
What'd you have on for a finish?
That's just wipe on poly. No, maybe 12 coats, but wipe on poly.
Okay.
Yeah. And some of you US folks might be interested in this. These two pieces are Kentucky coffee tree.
Yeah, I'm only seeing one. Go to your.
Okay, there we are.
Right there. Okay.
Okay. So the little village I live in, there was probably a 150-year-old Kentucky coffee tree came down in sections, one at a time. And the wood turners gathered round like vultures around roadkill. And we managed to get all of the tree tucked away for wood turners and table makers and such. So these two pieces came out of a single single branch. The wood looks, the grain is a bit like ash.
Yeah.
Though the wood is a little redder. It's got a very, very narrow white sap layer on it. In an 8-inch limb, you might have a 1/2 inch of sapwood on the outside underneath the bark. And these were turned completely green, wet. And I was concerned about what was going to happen when it started to dry, and so I turned one, and I turned slowly. So it probably took me 2 or 3 days to get this one to this shape. And I thought, well, I'll just see. So I started to finish it with wipe on poly again, and it didn't crack. Now, maybe it's because it's end grain term, but encouraged by that, I went and turned the second one, and it also has survived and is without a crack.
Beautiful.
if it's at least quite an unusual wood in this part of the world. I guess presumably there's more in Kentucky than there is up here. And this was an enormous tree. At the base, it was 2 feet off the ground. It was 42 inches in diameter. So there's a ton of Kentucky coffee tree wood being turned in Western Quebec at the moment.
All right.
Great fun.
Thank you, Bill. Appreciate you sharing with us tonight. Beautiful work. Beautiful. Doug Miller's handling our gallery. Doug, we got somebody else up tonight?
We do. Scott's ready to go. Scott, what you got?
Well, I had a little piece of resin left over this week from a pen, and I decided to make a little teardrop with my new Badan tool.
All right, that's nice. Pull that back towards you a little bit. There you go. Wow.
So it's got a lot of color in it.
Yeah, nice color. Looks like it's flame.
Yeah.
You did a good job with that.
It's called Tequila Sunrise was the name of the blank.
What, where'd you get the Badan?
I made it.
Really?
Away.
Awesome.
I took one of my Hughes and I turned it into a Badan. A 316 Badan.
I would love to see pictures of that.
I will get it out next week and try to show it to you.
Yeah,
please,
we'd like
sir.
to see
Thank
it.
you.
That's
Yeah.
pretty. Put a
Yeah.
put a light under it and make it into a candle flame.
Actually, it's going to go on my Christmas tree. It's one of my start of my Christmas collection.
A Christmas collection. I like that. I like that. All right. Beautiful work. Thank you, Scott.
You can also use a parting tool to make a Badan too. You got a flat-sided parting tool. They work as well.
Okay. We interested in seeing that, Scott. If Dane was here tonight, he'd put the hook on you for that show to show that piece.
I will show it next week.
All right, we're counting on it. That's what we do, share information here. And that's a beautiful piece. And see what Scott said about a Christmas collection, Christmas tree collection. Think about that for a minute. All those Kim, pardon me, all those shop scraps you may have around are not shop scraps. They're Christmas tree ornaments waiting to be created, or Bob Moffitt's birdhouses. But we'll take what we can get. We're going to Doug Miller for more gallery right now. Who's up, Doug?
How about Dave up in Lakewood, New York? What you got for us? Dave?
Dave, you have to talk for me to find you. Dave in Lakewood. Hello. Unmute yourself, Dave.
Okay, I did it. I'm
now
unmuted.
talk. All right, now we can get you. Dave in Lakewood. I'll get your picture.
I'm trying.
Folks, reason I say that is, in the way we use the co-host thing, the only way I can see your image is if you speak and then it comes up on a gallery. Yeah. What is that, Dave?
When I was turning it, I thought it was.
Okay, now
anyhow,
we start over.
I think it's ash.
It does look like ash.
It was. It turned like a rock.
Then it is ash.
And it's full of cracks, but a lot of CA held it together.
Ash is hard to turn.
This was pretty dry. I mean,
Yeah.
it isn't too bad when it's wet. This is pretty dry. It's about 10 inches by 3.5.
Nice.
And
I've made some good.
I felt guilty watching all the time and not showing anything. So,
well, hey,
I
don't
finished
feel
this
guilty.
today.
You're part of the club.
This was originally mounted on a lathe in July, but I've been sidetracked with all kinds of other projects, and I just finally finished it. So
It looks great.
yeah,
Really
thank you.
nice. Really nice. Thank you,
And the
Dave.
grain pattern's beautiful.
Oh, yeah.
I love ash, and I'm really sad that it's disappearing around here. It's starting to get hard to get.
Well, we can all fix that by being a little bit more conservative. But. All right, Dave, appreciate you sharing with us tonight. That's it. And Brenda, did you see any birds or anything in that pattern? Brenda's our in-house.
Our animal.
Hey,
Yeah.
Brenda.
My wife thought she saw a fish.
Okay.
Brenda, no, that's a dog bone in the middle.
Yep, there you go. Dog bone.
Dog bone. All right. Y'all scare me when you start seeing these things in the wood, really.
Hey,
But-
Ronnie, if you don't mind, put your email in the chat, please.
All right, sir.
Thank you.
As Gary
I'll do it
is
right now.
providing pens, Freedom Pens for the Marine Corps. Ronnie's collecting for the Marine Corps. Ronnie's grandson will be a Marine, a full-fledged Marine in a couple of weeks. And Ronnie's going there for the graduation. He plans on giving a Freedom Pen to everybody graduating that day. At first, he said Liberty Crowd. Now we found out the Marines, I don't get the name right, he's got a big crowd. He's going to take care of them all. Let's go back to gallery this evening. It's 1:30. We got about 35 minutes to wrap this thing up. Who's up, Doug?
Trace has got something for us here.
Trace, go ahead, please.
Let me unmute. Have you got me?
I got you now, bud. You're up.
We had a tool handle demonstrated. Well, let me zoom out so you can see it. A couple weeks ago. With that chisel on it. So I thought I'd show you the one I made. I made the tool handle a little bit earlier. But it's a homemade tool handle. It's a 3/4 inch. No,
I gotta
it's
tell you,
homemade.
like, it's homemade. I see the marks on the tubing.
Yeah, look at the marks on the tubing. 1-inch ID braided PVC from Lowe's. But it's a homemade handle. And I had to show it. And I did this right before the meeting and just played around with it. And it's a sweet cutting tool. A little jumpy on some of it, but it's still sweet cutting.
Now,
Some
all
other
considering you just got it in the mail last night, you haven't had a lot of experience with it.
This was the first piece I put it on.
Oh, boy.
So,
Trey, if you've cut that with if that's the first piece, you've cut that, and I know it'll be the first piece because I know I got the email last night to say that it's arrived. Well done. Well done. If you pick that tool up once a week, you will absolutely love it.
yeah, it did. It did really nice, and it does really nice on cutting the V cuts. It really does a very nice V cut and a really nice edge cut on it. Yeah. So.
I'll make it work for you, Trey. It's exactly. I love using it, but it's that kind of tool that you would never. You don't need to buy it because you don't need one. But it's one of them things that's just nice to try and master, and that's why I bought them. Well done. Love it.
Now, now let me explain something. The guy that just said about not buying one because you don't need one, he's a guy that sells them.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, I mean, if you can't get any darn more honest than that anywhere, and look at, you made all those handles.
Yeah, these are all homemade handles. And the aluminum and everything is turned on a wood lathe.
Yep.
What size do you use an oversized bit to drill those holes?
Yes, there was once, and if you're drilling like a 3/8, you really should have like a 64th of an inch oversize to drill the holes.
Yeah.
You should have just a tad oversize. And you probably need to get longer drill bits. I'm not sure I have the right long drill bits for it, but you need to be just a tad oversized on the hole.
That's beautiful work, Trey.
But,
It looks nice. What did you cover that long handle with?
it's a piece of tubing.
So the inside, that is, okay.
Yeah.
It's just a piece. It's just a piece of tubing from Lowe's. 1 inch inside diameter tubing. The shaft inside of it is a 3/4 inch aluminum pipe.
Pipe or the
Which is
conduit
really
or
clo-
something?
Which is really close to, well, no, it's pipe. It's aluminum pipe. They call it hard wall aluminum conduit. I get it from Electrical Supply House.
Oh, okay.
And that's what I have mounted all my cameras with around the shop. And then this is a piece of aluminum that's turned down with a sleeve inside of it and glued into the ends of them. And it's
Nice.
And it flips around from both directions. This one happened to be the right size to fit the tool. So
Look nice.
On it. We got one other thing I want to show. This is a update that I did to the shop this week. The mortar, it's a little 1-inch belt sander. But what I did is I switched the motor out and put a variable speed motor on it. And what that does for me, I can slow it down and sand wood without burning the wood.
Yeah, because those things off the shelf spin really quick.
Yeah, they're way too fast off the shelf. They're made for cutting steel and stuff. But this sander, I can slow it way down, and it's great for sanding, like the tops of my snowmen and stuff like that. When I part it off the lathe, I usually just take it to the belt sander and sand it to clean up the top of it. And it worked beautifully on this. I slowed it way down. It doesn't burn or anything else because I can slow the speed way, way down on it. It's a little DC motor. Well, it's a 1/2 horse DC motor, but variable speed. Works fabulous. So that's a thought. I'm slowing some tools down for sanding.
Good idea. Wow, thank you.
And it works great.
Yeah.
And one time later, maybe I can do a demo on turning this handle, because I think you can do this stuff on your wood lathes.
Yeah, I'd love to see that.
I know you can. Let's show it off.
That'd be a good idea. I'd like to see.
Yeah, I had somebody. The conduit I purchased was actually much cheaper than water pipe at the hardware store.
Yes.
I bought the conduit at an electrical supply place, and when I told the guy I was going to chop it up, make tool handlers out of it, I thought I grew a second head, because I mean, you can do what with what, how, And then I found the tubing at the hardware by my house, and it was hard to get in. And the guy said, "Well, it won't fit." And to gross amount, I spit on it, and it went right in. But I took some Dawn dishwashing liquid and a couple of drops in some water, and splashed the handle in there and the tube in there. They slid together, and the next day you couldn't get them apart.
Yeah.
So no trick about putting decals and labels on it. Soap and water.
And see, that same aluminum conduit's what I use over my overhead of my shop up here to hang all my stuff on for cameras and everything.
Yeah, I went looking for that box of connectors I have, because in the future build up, I need to do that over one of my lathes. And that's a great, I was in Trey's shop looking at it. It's a great idea.
And when you do it, do not mount it to anything that the lathe's touching. Tie it to the overhead, because that way you don't get the vibration. You put it on something the lathe's running on, you get a vibration on it.
Yep. All right. Thank you, Trey. Great idea. And somebody just asked, what are those handles?
What wood are they?
Yeah, the ones there you go. The five in the center.
Those are maple.
Maple. Okay.
That's a Burl type maple, and I don't recall what this one is, wingy or something like that. But the rest of these are Burl maples.
Yep. Just shop scraps laying.
And actually, there is no finish on this one. Has a finish on it, but the rest of them have no finish. It's a natural oil finish from my hand. Never put anything on it. I just let it go. So.
Yep. Thank
you. So they're hand oiled?
Yeah, they're hand oiled.
Hand oiled. Yeah.
Okay.
All the comedians out of work.
I know. There's so much work on right now. Why you guys aren't working? And gals. Okay. Thank you, Trey. Appreciate you sharing with us this evening. And folks, that's what we do. We have a few comments on the internet right here about, well, Scott Hampton just threw something up about a demo coming up, and that information is on our chat, and this is open to anybody. So if you want to share information and tools, somebody talked about this turning tool being so great, and this turning tool. If you have that information and you want to share it with other wood turners, put it in our chat, and it's an absolutely free thing. On the program, we restrict ourselves from doing promotions for anybody. I see notes here tonight. Joaquin said something about Ruth Niles, a dear, sweet lady I've done a lot of business with in the past. It's when wood turners take care of wood turners that it counts. That's why sometimes we talk about that stuff. Doug, do we have another gallery? We got 26 minutes to roll.
I've got 4 on the list here. First one up is Tim Hatch.
Tim, you have to start talking for me to find you.
Hey, good evening all. So this is one of the first ones I want to show y'all. It's a piece of mesquite turned into a vase.
That's
and then
mesquite.
I did an inlay in it. There was a big hole here inside of it from a branch coming in, and did an inlay with some of this micro powder my wife had gotten me. Inside the micro powder was some copper, obviously some micro copper in there, and then it had some flakes in there. So I mixed that with some 5-minute epoxy, and then of course the blue is that inlace using CA glue and the inlace. So that's one of the projects I did this past weekend, and then
that made me say.
I also turned this spalted pecan bowl. It's about 11.5 inches by about 3 inches deep.
Excellent.
That's
Excellent.
Beautiful wood.
Thank you.
Nice. Nice work.
And then the final thing, I'm still a novice and I'm learning my skew a little better. So I did a captive ring on a finial. That's going to be on my Christmas ornament.
No, wait. What did you turn this with?
With the skew.
All right, Tim, you can't lie first time on this program, okay?
I'm sorry, sir?
You can't lie like that when you come here.
No, I actually turn it on with the skew, everything on there.
Take your left leg because Captain's pulling it.
That is beautiful work.
Very
Wow.
nice.
I appreciate it. Like you said, I'm still a novice. I'm still trying to learn some of the different techniques that, watching you
Doing a
and
good job.
and a couple others all through the years. So I
You are
appreciate it.
doing a good job.
Yeah,
Thank you very much. Much appreciated.
Thank
Did you
you.
see the eagle in that big?
Say again.
Did you see the eagle in that big
I
bowl?
I thought I saw the eagle on the bowl.
Yeah, inside that big bowl.
There's an eagle in that bowl. Oh, I see it.
Yeah, bowl there. I don't see an eagle in it, honey. But
Tim,
eagle
go
or
along.
turkey?
Tim, go along with
See
it.
a
Just go
wolf.
along with it.
They just go along with her.
It's the eagle's head with its wings out. You'll
Yeah,
see.
yeah. Okay. Yeah. Well, I guess from a distance.
From a distance,
Okay.
exactly.
A long distance.
You go, Brenda.
Thank you, Tim. Appreciate it. Thanks all of y'all for this. I mean,
That's some nice work. Wow.
it is.
That's
is
great.
beautiful.
Yes.
Yeah. And it's just beginning. Yeah, right. Don't send me anything that says novice, Joaquin. Or Tim. We don't want to see that novice thing on your stuff.
Yeah, even worse, Eddie, it was a Harbor Freight skew.
Oh, boy.
no.
Wait a minute. That does not matter. It's how you use it, not the tool.
What size skew?
It was I guess it's about an inch.
Yep.
About that big. Okay.
Yep.
Thanks.
That's
That's
what
better.
I was playing with.
Yeah, that's it.
That's good.
And who said it's not the tool, it's the turner? That's the thing about those high-priced tools don't come with experience. They just come high-priced. And
Don't say that very loud. My wife won't let me buy anything.
oh, your wife lets you buy tools? I didn't know that existed in today's world. Okay. Brenda, I gotta start. Brenda, Tim, just so you're comfortable about this, Brenda seen the eagle, raised the value of that ball by about $50.
Hey, that works because I have a craft show this weekend. I'm putting it in.
All right, tell them, sanctioned by Brenda or whatever, artwork approved by Brenda. We'll come up with something. It'll make it look good. Who's up for gallery? We got a couple more in the box tonight.
Neil Mack.
Neil, talk to me, buddy.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Now I can put the camera on you, Neil, right
Okay,
now.
Ed, thank you. This is what I made as a little birdhouse.
Pay attention to Bob Moffett. Pay attention.
There you
Little
go. This one's
competition
for
there.
Bob.
Looking at it,
But this has another
making my heart
life.
skip a beat.
Ruh-roh.
Oh, no.
Uh-oh.
Yes.
And the bird gets to drink wine.
That's
You get to sit
fantastic.
there.
That's cool.
Is that stopper by, is that stopper
is
by Ruth?
fantastic.
Yes.
Yeah,
That's
look,
one item. And I was inspired by Dean's videos to make these little guys.
Like a salt cellar? Yes.
You know, aren't
I-
those a ton of fun to make?
They are. They're so much fun.
Psyche cup.
Mhm.
Yep. I call them ring safes. You put your ring in there and it keeps it safe.
There you go.
Okay. And then
Set it on your
on
table
a,
and put your soy sauce in it.
There
Yeah.
you go. And here's another little bowl I made.
Cute.
that's, I like the stripe.
That's
I like
nice.
that.
I do too. I like
Looks
that.
good. I like it.
Good deal.
Real nice.
And then I have this bowl that I turned.
Ooh.
And I turned it into a funnel.
Oh, you did?
Yes. And then it parted. It became two
All right,
pieces.
all right. Before you show us, you know, you can join a club that what he's got going and you get a shirt that says Funnel Club.
So I decided to put a new bottom on it.
Nice.
That looks good.
Good.
And
That's
sometimes
real
that's
good.
harder
Yeah,
than
did a
turning
good
a bowl,
job.
isn't it?
Yes, it
Good
is.
save.
That looks like that was a redesign opportunity.
Yes.
Yes, it was.
No,
Back
no
to the drawing board. That's what I have for this.
Beautiful work, Neil.
Good
And
job.
folks, if you don't know about it, let me beat the drum for just a second. All this work you're seeing tonight is done by our members, and we like to share it with you, but we want our members to share with us. We do a gallery each week at 7 o'clock or top of the hour, first top of the hour we come to, and we show the gallery of items we've had submitted to us the week prior. So really, it stops on Tuesday midnight, starts again on Wednesday, whatever. But you need to send us a photograph for that to happen. I cannot capture items off of Facebook. The quality of the image is really lacking. And we have enough problems with interference and everything else so far already. Send us a photograph of your work to worldwidewoodturners@gmail.com. That's what it's in. It's simple enough. worldwidewoodturners@gmail.com. And we will use your photograph in our challenge. And it goes on our website and in our newsletter and our promos and all, because we're trying to keep growing this club. Let's see who's up next with Doug Miller in Kentucky's handling our gallery tonight.
How about Ron Vincent? Come on down.
All righty, I will.
All right,
Can you
Ron, now we
find me?
got you back again. Yes, sir.
All
You're
righty.
on camera.
Well, Doug Miller and myself were both, and I think Brenda was too, watching Doug Roll make Christmas trees from pencils. And I said, I think I'm going to try it with acrylic instead of pencils. So I did. I drilled holes in a piece of wood and then turned it afterwards. So different colors of the acrylic. It didn't turn out right because I didn't use my divider head. I just done it by hand.
Ooh.
But
It did turn out right. It turned out beautiful.
You turned out looking pretty nice.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Oh, well, your standards are, but mine are, wow, that's nice.
Good job.
well, thank you. So I wanted to show it because Doug says, yeah, do it and show him. So I'm showing him.
All right. It looks nice. It looks really nice.
If you're gonna do it, you might as well show it, right?
That's right.
Exactly.
That's right. Comes off your machine. It's your work. Be proud of it. Thank you,
Alrighty.
Ron. Looks
Thank
really
you.
nice.
The random nature of that gives it a unique design.
That's it.
Well, actually, it's not random. If you look down at the holes, are straight through.
Yep.
But when you after you turned it, then it looks like they're off.
Yeah. Don't keep giving away your secrets there, Ron. This is pretty nice stuff.
Okay.
All right. Thank you, Bud. Appreciate it. Anybody else up? We got about 15 minutes to go.
All right, I've got the last one on my list. I was asked by the folks in the store that I've got some stuff in about some plates. I had taken one in, and she said, if we had a whole bunch of them, we could do like a table setting. And so I have set out to do some plates. This is my first completed one, and that is this one's 2x8 construction pine, Ronnie. There's the backside. You can see I got pretty consistent edges all the way around, which is what we were after. I left it about a 1/4 inch thick. I didn't want it to get too flimsy or to be broken if it got dropped. So there it is.
And that's,
so anyway,
that's timber. That's framing lumber.
Yeah, 2x8. And it's we ran across a building site where they were begging people to take it. They had so much of it. It's a big house using a lot of 2x8 for framing. So anyway, you can see there, it's ended up 7.5 or 7.25 inches wide, I guess. Just a little over an inch deep total. Some great grain in that pine. If you take your time, cut it, slice it, sand it nicely, and then this has got oil finish on it at this point, is all it's got. I'm going to come back and buff it on the bill system pretty soon, just so I get a little bit more shine out of it. But it's all right.
And folks, you're not going to take any light off of Doug's work, but turning building lumber is not easy. That's why we joked about the 2x4 club when this program got started a long time ago. This is harder to turn and get a good shape out of and not have it blow up on you than most dense woods are. And Doug is beautiful. I really, especially the grain pattern in it.
Yeah, came out very nice. My first attempt, I went through the bottom. I turned I'm going to turn a recess for all of them, but I had turned a recess and wasn't paying attention. I took the bottom right out of the very first one. The second one, I took one of the corners off. I did take it to the table saw and I trimmed 2 opposing edges so that that chipped corner would be gone and it would still be balanced and centered. But I just didn't like it. I could see that it was not square any longer. This one is dead square. That's kind of what I'm after, is having dead square bowls or plates. If I can get 6 or 8 of them, I've got 13 or 14 of these blanks. Then I've got 3 2x10s. I'm excited about turning those just a little bigger than this. But anyway, yeah, it's pine. It's got its own problems, but it's nice when you get it done.
Right, and you belong to the 2x4 club. That's it.
Again.
Again.
Yep.
Thank you, Doug. Thank you tonight for handling the gallery for us this evening. This is where our membership comes together and does things to benefit wood turning. Years ago, we started with this 2x4 club, and Ronnie started it. Ronnie is my sort of co-conspirator on creating this thing. And Ronnie was just toying around with some scraps of wood and turning out little items out of 2x4. And I teased him about using cheap wood. And then as I thought about it a little more, that's not what I was teasing about. The teasing about it was he was a novice turner turning on some of the most difficult material in the world. And if you turn, do any kind of cabinet work or counter work, and you fool around with SYP, Southern Yellow Pine, you'll know that it's got a mind of its own. And if your tools aren't very, very sharp and your workmanship is not slicing, you're not going to get anywhere. Ronnie and I both went to a Mark Saleh workshop. Mark Saleh's awesome turner and instructor. He was teaching wood slicing. He doesn't call it wood turning. It's wood slicing. And he reground some fingernail gouges for us. And that day, after doing this for 25 or 30 years, he changed my mindset on how to make cuts with some tools. Because if you stop plowing the wood and start slicing it. It'll come out a whole lot better. And that's where we all have grown from. We have a 2x4 club. If you want to be part of it, all you have to do is show us a piece you've turned out of building materials, and you're in the group. And tell you what, the plywood's also fun to turn. It is fun there. And your shop doesn't smell so bad if you do some of these exotics. Hey, if you got something, let us know. It's 10 minutes before the top of the hour. We rock out of here at the top of the hour. So give us a call. Soleil. Joaquin's got a little something. Hey, you know, if you go through the bottom of that bowl, you qualify for the Farmer Club. You can get a T-shirt from Joaquin.
Eddie, I got a question for you.
Go
How
ahead,
does
Doug.
Southern yellow pine compare to eastern white pine? I think eastern white pine's a lot softer and more brittle. Am I right?
I find it to be so soft that if you don't slice it, it pulls out.
Yeah.
Very much so.
That's one of those things. Can I make one more pass before I sharpen up? No.
Okay.
If you think you need to sharpen up, sharpen up. It will tear right out. And that's, I see that a lot in turning. I've got the story I tell a lot of times is I went to a wood turning club meeting in the middle of Louisiana, and a guy handed me a bowl that he turned, and he said, "Hey, Cap, what do you think it is?" And I took a look at the bowl, and and I said, "Boy, it'd be nice when you sand it out." How was I supposed to know he had already sanded it out? It looked like a bunch of rats been chewing on it all day, because his tools weren't sharp and he wasn't slicing wood. He was tearing it out or plowing it out. So whenever you're looking at something, that's why we have the no but guarantee here. There's no, I like that but. Remember, you can't throw that but in there. It's somebody else's work and their art, and that's why we like it. And you always come with an idea. My idea was never use a brick to sand wood with. And monkey, who said that? Monkey puzzle wood has the same branch pattern as Norfolk Island pine, and it's easier to turn. That came from Scott. Monkey puzzle wood. Scott, where do we get monkey puzzle wood? It came in from Scott Hampton.
Yeah, it grows here in California in some areas. It's mostly they have what they call monkey puzzle over in the UK. The kind here is different, but it still has the same branch pattern as you're looking for with Norfolk Island pine. But it's a somewhat denser wood, and I find it's easier to turn on the lathe because you're doing a lot of end grain turning to get that branch pattern that you're looking for.
That's, you get the right piece of the Norfolk Island pine. That is, it's mesmerizing. How the pattern comes out.
Yeah, you can do that with the monkey puzzle too. I have a source actually here in Central California, and he gets it off the Central Coast. So
monkey puzzle wood. When I heard that, I was thinking you got the cahoots with Brenda. That's what happened there.
That's a weird name, but yeah, it's really pretty too. So
right.
Somebody brought up in the chat that they, Norfolk Island pine is a good pine to turn. So I just chimed in with that monkey puzzle part of it. So
thank you.
Discussion in the chat room.
All right. Anybody else this evening got anything to go on? I'm looking to hear from you. All right. We're on worldwidewoodturners.org. I hope that's what you're seeing on the screen, not what I just popped up. We had a say again. Okay, guess not. Anything else up tonight? Go ahead, please, Doug.
Let me show this real quick if I could. Have you got me on? You don't have me on. Let's see if I can put me on their spotlight.
I got you.
Yeah, there we go. Okay. There we go. You can see there, that's a sampling of my 40 snowmen that I've gotten done. And I think I said this a few weeks ago, but I was kind of determined when I started those this year, I was going to do them by or with a skew. So those are done with a parting tool and a 1-inch skew.
Whoa.
I've turned those almost exclusively with a 1-inch skew.
That's
So
nice.
that just kind of goes back to the conversation earlier. If you just determine you're going to do it and sit down and practice, I think my first two, I had half a dozen catches on each one. And then after that, very few catches. I've had some, but very few. And the more I did, the fewer catches I got. But you start learning when that skew needs to be honed a little bit, and you can definitely tell the difference when you've honed it correctly. It makes turning something like that, it makes it a dream, really. You get down where you can turn that pretty quickly.
What wood are you using there, Doug?
This is well, it fogwood.
Okay.
I've got some that were I'm trying to see if I can find one from last year's Christmas tree, or 2 years ago Christmas tree, and I expected to be really white. They turned out really dark. That's got some walnut oil that's been rubbed on it, but that was the color of the wood. It's amazing.
Yeah.
So pine can be dark. It doesn't all have to be white.
That's beautiful.
Most of these I've turned have either been poplar or maple or some kind of a spruce, I think is what that Christmas tree was. Just several things, but most of it is fogwood.
Okay. I tell you, if you find it, it's cheap. Yeah. That's it. Make friends with the. Somebody said earlier you made friends with a wood trimmer. Always make friends with a wood trimmer. They come across some fantastic stuff, and if they don't give it away, they got to get rid of it. And guess it costs them to get rid of it if they don't give it away. Oh, so that's thank you, Doug. Appreciate you sharing with us tonight. I hear somebody in the background talking like the.
Hey, Captain, you've got
Yes,
some
ma'am.
from Pennsylvania that says he's got a photo for the Freedom Pens.
He's got a photo for the Freedom Pens? Who's that?
Yeah, he was in chat. I saw it come down.
Okay.
Randy Smith.
Randy Smith.
Randy, you still with us?
Yep.
Clarify. All right. Talk.
I got him.
All right. Whoa.
This is what 40 Freedom Pens in a shoebox look like.
40 Freedom Pens in a shoebox. Sounds like a bad never, John. That is nice.
Very nice.
Wow.
Let's see if I can change the. That's what they look like when they're, that isn't a good one. That's what they look like when they're laid out flat.
Well, that's nice.
Oh, they're beautiful.
So Jim and Ronnie and Doug, you will be getting packages.
Oh, nice. Nice.
I've been
Thank
working.
you. Yeah, y'all been turning wood and making Freedom Pens. How nice.
Thank you very much. We'll appreciate it.
Oh, yeah.
Randy, you're making some points here, bud. We can move you up 1 or 2 notches in the rankings. But really nice work. And Freedom Pens do matter, folks. They really do. We had a good gallery tonight. We did. We saw a trip through. We had a trip through Bob's workshop. We had Trace share some information on tools and tool handles, and he took us around the world today on making tools. And I'm not kidding about that. It really was an around the world thing. We went from the United Kingdom to Russia to Australia, back to America, and all over one tool, which was started. That conversation was started right here on Worldwide Woodturners. If you've got something like that to share with us, please do so. Join us next week right here. We begin at 6 o'clock Central Time, and we run until 9 o'clock Central Time, where if I had to promise some friends that we'd pull a plug, because we had instances where this thing ran for 3 or 4 more hours. But we cut it off. The host may keep it up for a little bit, but formally the meeting will end now. And I wish each and every one of you to have a great week, and please be safe. And as always, thanks for being here. I really love it. You make my evening or my day or my week. It's just what we do. And with that, good night, John Boy.
Good
night, Kevin.
Good night,
Good night,
everybody.
all.
Good night, everybody. Have a great week.
Night,
Thanks
everybody.
for all
Night,
the
Kevin.
free defense.
Take
Good
care
night,
now.
folks.
Save the chat.
Dana,
night,
it's good
all.
to see you get in.
Save the chat.
Night, everybody.
Good night.
Night, everybody. Bye.